Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Mike McCarthy era is over in Dallas. They could not reach an agreement on the length of a contract, and McCarthy will now pursue other opportunities. He leaves Dallas with a winning record and 3 playoff appearances in 5 seasons as head coach. Well, the Vikings-Rams will finish up Wild Card Weekend tonight. They'll do that in Glendale, Arizona, due to those wildfires in California. You can catch it here. Pregame starts at 6:30.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On a Monday afternoon, a interesting wild card weekend that does continue tonight. And as we left out of here Friday, we said, you know, Jerry, just do something by Monday at 2. And he did.
He did. I kept watching that Philadelphia game thinking, all right, any moment there's going to be an announcement. He's either re-signed him or they're moving on or whatever. Never saw it, and I couldn't believe it. So the Philly-Green Bay game went by without a hitch from Jerry Jones.
Well, and again, you look at where we stand today with what we seem to know at this point this morning, parting ways. Length of contract seems to be the hang-up. And not overly a surprise because, well, we've heard length of contract was a sticking point a couple of days ago, although you got Schefter saying that they didn't even actually negotiate, which makes me wonder, was it a take-it-or-leave-it offer or the first offer so damn insulting, Mike McCarthy gave him 2 birds up and walked out the door?
Well, and McCarthy, look, he could do that. Because I think the guy will have a job before, I don't know, maybe before the Super Bowl starts.
Maybe before the Cowboys hire his replacement?
It could very well be. He's a sought-after guy. Already the Bears and Saints are 2 teams that are being reported as very interested in him. So it would not surprise me if this guy is employed here within the next couple of weeks.
When, again, you look at everything that is going on, everything that we have to do. I'm kind of mixed right now. As a Cowboy fan, I'm not surprised. I'm not mad. But you better go find somebody that's better than Mike McCarthy. You know, Mike McCarthy, with everything that we're mad at him about, is still a hell of a coach. Who are you going to get that's better, right? In 3 years, he won 12 games. But he was brought here to win a Super Bowl. And they didn't sniff an NFC championship game. Regular season success for Mike McCarthy has been more than acceptable. Playoff, not acceptable. And you wonder how much that stuck in the craw of Jerry Jones when making the decision. Do I want you back? I don't really want you to leave, but I don't really want you to go.
And I don't want you here for a long time. I saw a stat, and I'll have to check on this, so take this with a grain of salt. Since the NFL moved to the extra playoff.
Yeah, here we go.
The Cowboys are the only team that's gotten beat by a 7th seed.
It happened last year. We all know. I mean,
wow.
I mean, look, and pile on. That's what should happen right now. I mean, nobody loves low-hanging fruit more than you when it comes to the Cowboys.
Well, I'm just saying, I saw that stat. I didn't write the stat. I wasn't looking for it. I just saw it.
Oh, no, because Fox, everybody posted that yesterday because they know if they put a star on it, it will get clicks and retweets and everything else. And it's true. The idea of this round of the playoffs, as much as we complained about the college football playoff, the games not being good early, well, we didn't have but one good game this weekend, and that was the Sunday night game. A lot of blowouts, a lot of games that weren't overly competitive.
And some bad performances by some certain quarterbacks. One in particular that has to stand out is Justin Herbert, who was just awful, just completely awful. I've never seen a guy that everybody considers, including myself, a great quarterback, just look scared. He looked scared. He looked nervous. He looked tentative all day against Houston. Maybe their defense had a little something to do with it, but you cannot be a top-tier quarterback in the NFL and have that kind of performance. And now he's 0-2 in the playoffs, and so it's time to, just so you know I'm fair, we need to hammer this guy. It's just an awful playoff performance.
Well, again, we judge everybody by the standard of scrutiny that a Dallas Cowboy gets. So, all right, Justin Herbert, you get the Dak treatment here, the Tony Romo treatment.
Yes.
Mike Tomlin is finally getting the Mike McCarthy / Jason Garrett treatment for you're good until the playoffs when it really matters. I tell you what, Justin Herbert, that might have been the most disappointing and surprising performance. Like most people, I took the Chargers to win.
I did too.
Because I have believed in Justin Herbert, and I've kind of figured, well, now that they've got the coach that they do, they'll win a playoff game this week. I mean, hell, even Rex Ryan said that they had a bye this week in getting ready for the playoffs. I bought into all of that. It was a game early. C.J. Stroud, I think, made the play of the game with that bad snap, recovered, get everything there, and that's really what turned things. But Justin Herbert was awful. He was not sharp at all.
No, he was terrible. It was awful. Now there was some. It wasn't just him. There were some other things, and I'm going to give Houston a lot of credit because everybody was calling them out. Pledge, the only one in our prime picks that took them, and they came out and they played well. They looked like the team that I hadn't seen all year. They performed better on Saturday than they've in a lot of games most of the year. So props to them. It earns them a nice trip to Kansas City now. So enjoy the barbecue.
In the Texans time slot, they're the early game on Saturday, in which they always will be. Credit the Houston Texans because Pledge made a homer pick and it worked out for him. Most people were on Houston. But those guys in the locker room, even Joe Mixon afterwards, trolling one Rex Ryan.
He's smoking on that Rex Ryan bye week.
The cigars, but, they don't read or hear anything.
I think it's great, man. Look, and credit Rex Ryan for coming out and saying something like that. You got to sometimes throw the gauntlet out, but you got to be prepared for the repercussions if it's wrong. And he's getting hammered today.
Well, and again, I thought early the Chargers were in control of that game, but they couldn't maintain it. They couldn't score, and a big reason why was credit the Texans defense, but Justin Herbert was 14 of 32, 242 yards, and not one, not two, not three, 4 interceptions?
4 interceptions.
4 interceptions?
Now, I will say this, and not to take up for him, he deserves all the criticism he's going to get. But that tight end that they have has got hands of stone.
Uh-huh.
That dude is awful. I don't know how many balls went right through his hands, and a couple of them were.
Again, you're giving him the Dak treatment. It doesn't matter. It left Justin Herbert's hand.
It did, and it ended up in a Houston Texans hands after it went through the tight end's hands.
And again, I also look at 242 yards, 86 on one play. I mean, without that 86 yards, that 242, do your math. I mean, Justin Herbert was not good.
No.
And Texans get a lot of that credit defensively, but in reality, you just start to wonder about how is this guy in the playoffs? And that is where everybody is judged. And that's just not the Cowboys. That's everybody. But when you look at expectation, can this person get it done? You start looking at some of the other coaches that got to coach this weekend that are considered to be, a level of greatness, yet, Green Bay, they had a playoff win last year against Dallas, which sent the Cowboys back, it feels like 5 years. But at the same time, what have they really done, when it comes to playoff success with 2 different quarterbacks? It's interesting. And playoff football is where you're defined. That's how you make your bones in this business. With the exception of Mike Tomlin, who finally is getting the McCarthy-type treatment that, man, you have a great organization. And when you look at their career records, it's eerily similar. Yet the perception of one versus the other But the way they stumbled down the stretch, and again, the way they played, the way they looked ill-prepared for that game. I mean, they just didn't even look prepared.
Well, they looked uninspired.
Well, there's that, too.
A lot of, especially defensively, they just looked uninspired. Maybe Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry will do that to you, but just uninspired football. I know we got all week to do, but I cannot wait for that Buffalo-Baltimore game on Sunday night. I can't wait for that thing. You talk about a game that's going to get a lot of hype, and we'll do our share, but that's going to be something else, or it should be anyway.
Will it live up to the hype?
Will it live up to the I have to believe that it will. Both of those quarterbacks need a win in that game.
Both the quarterbacks, both the coaches. I mean, I hate to say it this way because it's not fair, but this feels like it should be for the AFC Championship. This feels like this Baltimore-Buffalo matchup feels like there should be more on the line than just on to the next, right? Kansas City, they've won 2 straight Super Bowls, getting ready for a third. They've got Houston. They've been off forever. Mahomes just had another baby. If Houston plays like they did Saturday against Kansas City, they've got a chance. They'll have a chance.
Sure. Based
on what we've seen from Houston this year and with Kansas City, although it's playoff Mahomes time, and playoff Patrick is a different guy. It's going to be an interesting game. Nobody is going to give Houston a chance against the 2-time defending champions on the way to a three-peat. So, and again, when you're the 1 seed, you get the bye. You know, you almost punch your ticket to the AFC championship game. But I love the fact that you're going to have Baltimore and Buffalo playing each other. It just feels like there should be more on the line than just an AFC championship game appearance.
I totally agree with that. And I guarantee both Buffalo and Baltimore will be Houston Texan fans watching that game. I promise you, because they don't want to have to go through Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl. So they'll be cheering for the Texans on Saturday afternoon. Texans got to be pretty comfortable in that Saturday 3:30 slot.
Oh, it's the Texans time slot.
It's got to be a pretty comfortable thing for them.
Yeah, let's get this one out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe they needed Kansas City there because Taylor's got to work Saturday night. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, congrats, though, to the Mahomes family. Baby number 3. Just saw that a few minutes ago. So perfect timing. You know, you gotta hand it to Patrick and his wife. Perfect timing. Baby today. Nothing. No danger of that happening on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. That's why I needed the 1 seed. Everything was planned out.
That's right.
Now he needs that other ring.
Perfect.
Get a ring for each kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's going to be.
Think
fun.
that was well planned out?
Of course it was. So,
all right.
Well, I don't know.
Brittany, if we're going to try to get pregnant, you got to get pregnant here because, you know, we'll have the bye. That would work. That works out pretty good. Or sometimes timing just works out for people.
I think timing just works out, especially for Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
It just does. Fun weekend, though. Fun weekend.
Definitely a fun weekend of football for sure. It does continue tonight. One more playoff game. We'll get into all that coming up. But right now, let's dive into who's next for the Cowboys. What's next for Mike McCarthy? If you're a Cowboy fan, who would you want to see? Who would get you excited as this is the next head coach? These names could be all over the place. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. You need winter gear. It's been cold the last couple of days. You know it will get cold again. You need your company logo, your organization logo on a nice jacket, half zip, hoodie, beanie. Sam will get you taken care of. He's got all the big name brands, North Face, Eddie Bauer, Under Armour, Nike, Travis Matthew, Port Authority, to name a few. If you need caps done, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps in stock, the Katie caps, Nike, Cap America, to name a few. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices. Sammy is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too big, certainly no order too small. All items do come with a warranty. So call 210-824-3900. 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
South Texas College Football Headquarters is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And the most wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Are you an oblivious person hogging the sidewalk like a large dying snail? Do people stuck behind you ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have tons of quality beds at every price. So anyone, even people.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Joel, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop! Folks at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minnick. A Mellow Mushroom Monday. We'll give away a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom over there at 281 near Stone Oak Parkway here a little bit later. Mike McCarthy could probably use a nice Mellow Mushroom around this time. That's the best pizza. Lose your job. You want to go get something good to eat. Good old pizza at Mellow Mushroom.
Well, Mike might be feeling pretty good, too. Yeah, knowing that he's got some opportunity out there. Now he's left the circus. He might be feeling okay.
Maybe. Maybe. You look at, now that it does appear we have full clarity on what is happening with the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy is moving on by all reports. Still nothing official from the team or Mike McCarthy. We know the contract expires at midnight. It's not like free agency where the Bears are going to be lined up at the door and the Saints ready for the 2 a.m. call, but he's got his options. And now that it's out there, you wonder, can they start working on, for Mike McCarthy, lining up interviews for when you can freely talk. But I look at the Cowboys, and I get pissed off at Jerry Jones if this truly did work out this way. You deny Mike McCarthy the opportunity to go interview with the Chicago Bears when they requested it. Although they haven't hired anybody, they can still talk to Mike. But there's also that window where you can talk to guys that have the first-round bye.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cowboys didn't do a request to talk to a Ben Johnson or an Aaron Glenn or anybody on the Chiefs staff or, that ship sailed. So you had a whole week and you didn't do a damn thing when it comes to those guys, right? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
Right.
So that almost seems did Jerry get a little surprised that Mike McCarthy isn't back? Was Jerry, no matter what he said, thinking that Mike McCarthy was going to come back? Was this more of a Mike McCarthy decision than a Jerry Jones decision? What appears to be inactivity from the Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, the front office, tells me this feels more like Mike. They thought they were going to be able to lowball him, shorten the years, whatever it might be, because we have not heard of one interview that the Cowboys have done. And there was nothing preventing the Cowboys from interviewing any candidate. And at the very least, you could put in requests, whether you have an opening or not. Hey, we want to talk to this guy. And they didn't do it.
No, they didn't do it. But I do. I think this is Mike McCarthy. And I think McCarthy had a little more leverage than Jerry thought he did. And if the reports are true that Jerry wanted to lowball the years on the contract, which is apparently what it is, 2 or 3 years Jerry wanted to go. Mike wanted another 5-year deal. Jerry wasn't prepared or willing to do that. And Mike said, no, I'm good. And we talked about this, that I think Mike McCarthy is a good enough coach and well sought after that he did have some leverage in this thing. Although he said he wanted to stay in Dallas, I believe him, and I believe he did. But, I mean, he's not going to give away the farm to do it. And so he didn't do it. Jerry wouldn't budge on the years. Mike McCarthy wanted more. There you have it. Mike's out.
Yeah. So you start looking now. Who's going to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? You go with a guy that is a retread. I know that's not the official term, but that's the one that we use. Because Jerry seems to like a coach with experience, head coaching experience at the NFL level. Does he go completely against what he's always done before, which might be the way to go because what you've been doing hasn't gotten you back to the Super Bowl, so why not? But also at 83 years old, is he going to be patient? I think that's one of the things that might be part of the factor here with Mike McCarthy. Jerry was too patient with Jason Garrett.
Yes, he was.
Jerry does not have time to be that patient with Mike McCarthy. And he won't be patient because he's 83 with the next guy, whether it's a young guy or an old guy. You want to coach in his 70s like Pete Carroll? Sure. Jerry's still going to call him a young man. But in reality, Jerry is not going to be patient like he was with Jason Garrett.
Well, Jerry needs to step up to the plate as well then and put a team on the field that is worthy. Look, he did that the year before. Last year he did not. And so it was an issue. And I thought Mike McCarthy did a pretty good job with that. You can blame Mike McCarthy for that Green Bay debacle all you want to. I blame him. I blame the players. It was a disaster. But this year he didn't have a lot to work with, and the injuries piled up too. I hope Jerry doesn't go with a retread. I mean, I saw a report, I think it was in The Athletic, that there's already a candidate in-house, Mike Zimmer. And I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. Please. Please, that would be just the worst.
Did you say Mike Zimmer?
Mike Zimmer.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I see a candidate in-house. I'm thinking Al Harris.
Well, his name was not mentioned.
But that would be all right, Jerry. Let's see what you got.
Or look, and I know this wouldn't Cowboy fans, the little Kellen Moore or a Cliff Kingsbury. Somebody young that has got some ideas, some fresh ideas, and that may be a little more relatable with the players. Aaron Glenn. How about Aaron Glenn?
I can't talk to him till after the Super Bowl.
Just saying. I mean, a guy like that, somebody that can come in and wants to be a head coach, wants to get that opportunity, and not look. Pete Carroll's great. He's been a great coach. That wouldn't get me too excited. Mike Zimmer certainly wouldn't get me excited at all. Ron Rivera would be ho-hum. I mean, get somebody fresh. And I know Cliff wasn't good in his first head coaching job, but he is an offensive mind that I think could help that Cowboys offense if Jerry goes out and gets him some talent.
Now let me ask you this. Mike Zimmer doesn't excite you as head coach?
No.
What about DC?
No.
Okay. Ron Rivera as DC?
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Okay. So I will say this, just spaghetti on the wall. Ron Rivera is your head coach. Again, doesn't move the needle for me either. So then who the hell are you bringing in as your offensive coordinator? Who is calling plays? Because if you're going with a defensive-minded head coach, maybe the more important hire is the offensive coordinator, and can that guy get more out of Dak Prescott? What can he do with Dak Prescott in the offense? Or is Jerry going to provide him a real running back in 2025? Is he going to get him another receiver opposite of CeeDee Lamb? Or is he going to cry broke this offseason and say, oh, we can't sign anybody? So you look at the play caller, if you go with a defensive-minded coach, whether it's an Aaron Glenn or a Ron Rivera, who's your play caller then? And what input does Dak Prescott have on that? You know, you look at, I know they took a lot of crap years ago about the Texans wanting to give old Josh McCown the head coaching job, even though he's never coached. Now you look at what he's doing with the Vikings, and he's a name I'm surprised we're not hearing more of.
Yeah.
But he's going to be on that. The Texans were ahead of the curve, but they were so far ahead nobody knew what they could do with that. Now you go, man, I wonder, could there be somebody like that? You know, or does Jerry have some names on his list that might surprise all of us? And it ain't Deion Sanders, and it's not, I don't know what else you want to come up with, the coach from Friday Night Lights. That ain't going to happen either. I mean, just, some of the ridiculous that you see, but could it be somebody along those lines? I don't know that Kellen Moore's coming back as the head coach. That would surprise me. But could there be somebody like a Josh McCown that's waiting in the wings? Could there be, I don't know, Wade Phillips' kid Wes, who's the offensive coordinator with those Minnesota Vikings?
Who knows? Maybe he's an offensive coordinator you could bring in with the new head coach. I've heard Jason Witten's name has been bantied around. Would Jerry do something like that? I think bringing in a guy, and I think what Dan Campbell has showed us in Detroit is that players respond to guys like that. D'Amico Ryans in Houston. Mm-hmm. I think players respond to former players like that haven't been out of the game all that long, although I guess Campbell's been out of it a little longer than Ryan. Still, I think just a culture change in Dallas is something that is needed there. And I'm not sure a Kellen Moore or even a Cliff Kingsbury can provide that. And I'm not sure who can. But I think more of a culture, more of a discipline. Even Mike McCarthy at times, the team didn't look disciplined. Yep. And there was no accountability. And so I think that is something that I would rather have than, a huge name. And on our YouTube page, by Steve Sarkisian. Please, after that joker in the playoffs, the play calling that this guy is just a clown show. I'm not sure why everybody's got Steve Sarkisian on this pedestal. The guy shows me absolutely nothing. Texas beat nobody this year. Nobody. And Steve Sarkisian on the 1 yard line pitches the ball back 6 yards I want to.
So now we can't coach. That was a bonehead call.
I want to pull.
But I could see where Sark would be on there, and yeah, he did get to the national semis 2 years in a row, but that was bad.
And got beat both times.
Yeah,
didn't he? Yeah.
Well, it's what happens when I say you get to the semis 2 years in a row. They clearly didn't make it.
We could talk about that because
we will.
And we
got 3.5 more hours of show.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I was just getting warmed up.
Oh, yeah. It ain't gonna be Sark.
Please.
And it's not gonna be Saban.
And it's not gonna be Deion Sanders. So everybody get that out of your head too.
Although it is such a unique job because the spotlight that comes in with being part of the circus, the Jerry Jones aspect of it. So it does take a different coaching candidate than maybe somebody that's interviewing for the Saints job or somebody that's interviewing for the Bears job. There is a different level of you've got to deal with a lot of crap in Dallas, and that's the way Jerry Jones wants it. That's the way this thing has been designed. So you have to also have somebody that's willing and can, more importantly, deal with the circus.
Yep.
365 days a year. And I know every coach is going to apply because there's only so many of them, but part of that interview process, if somebody offers you that job, you take it because, well, you take it. But, it's like Chan Gailey. He shouldn't have had that job, but he's not going to tell him no, but he wasn't right for it.
No, he wasn't right for it, Chan Gailey. We got time for this real quick.
Sure.
Jimmy Johnson throwing spaghetti on the wall yesterday.
Yeah, Terry, now, I've got no inside information, but, things are stale in Pittsburgh. Things are stale in Dallas. And just food for thought. How about a coaching swap? Mike McCarthy's a Pittsburgh guy. Let him go to Pittsburgh. Let Mike Tomlin go to Dallas. Both franchises would be excited.
But then the only problem is, you said they're both stale, but one continues to make the playoffs and the other one doesn't. That's not stale.
I'll tell you,
one's having more success.
It's not going to happen. Mike Tomlin is still employed in Pittsburgh as far as I know, although there is a lot of talk that he shouldn't be.
And again, though, that's the difference in perception of Mike Tomlin versus perception of Mike McCarthy. McCarthy won 12 games in 3 straight seasons.
Yep.
The 2 years in Dallas, of his 5 years, he gets to the playoffs 3 times. The 2 times he doesn't, Dak Prescott was hurting out for most of the season. There's not a lot of coaches, and I know you can find the example here and there, but generally when you deal with those kind of injuries, it derails your entire season. Mike McCarthy can easily say, yeah, the years I didn't make the playoffs in Dallas, my quarterback was out for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Look what I did with Cooper Rush. And you look at all the injuries this year, but again, they're judged differently. Pull up Mike McCarthy's record for his career. They both have 1 Super Bowl playoff record. I believe McCarthy's is actually better. And I don't know. I think Pledge was still in high school the last time Steelers won a playoff game. I kid. Somebody's the other night at the bar thought he was like 26.
Who, Pledge?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
They had a head coach, and they let him get away to Washington.
Well,
nobody wanted him.
We were all ready for Dan Quinn to leave the building.
Yeah, we were.
Keep that in mind,
Yep.
myself included.
Uh-huh.
We were all ready for Dan Quinn to leave the building.
Well, look, and DeQuinn, he's done a good job, but he had found a quarterback. So that kid is he's pretty special.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Happy for Cliff Kingsbury. Happy for my Washington friends.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Philly's still alive, too.
Screw those guys.
Oh.
Let's talk about the weekend playoffs. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. True story. After the All-Star game on Saturday, we're all at the Roo Pub, and some dude was like, Pledge, you're what, 26? Man, dude's 43 years old. Tell you all the time, if there's any big game, any big event, you want to get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road with those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. I know we were there Saturday for the games. They'll have the game on tonight as well. And when you go into the Roo Pub, go hungry. The food, fantastic. They have the biggest and best wings in town. About 15 different burgers on the menu, including that new bison burger that is outstanding. I love the fried shrimp there. Great appetizers. Pledge always gets a salad. He says it's good. And that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Brew Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game, including tonight's game between the Rams and Vikings. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant, the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
The Morning Huddle.
The boogeyman is supposed to be whatever scares you.
So it's my wife.
It's your wife after you show up 30 minutes late to your planned date night.
Yeah, see?
Except she's uglier and heavier than you know her.
Yeah.
Even if I fix this, now I'm going to have sex with an ugly, fat version of my wife. Damn it.
Unfortunately, that's real life for her.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It is playoff time. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. You know Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Be like me and 5 million other happy players winning money watching games with their Pick'em game, where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. You can cook up fire entries for a shot to win real cash prizes all playoff long. You can even take football and basketball and mix them together. Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with my promo code STAR, and deposit now and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code STAR. Sign up today.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
George gets justice.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Every morning, we rise and shine. Make breakfast and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? HIMS can help. Get started at hims.com/joy. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy.
He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. The Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. It's officially official now. Mike McCarthy officially out as head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. A statement just released by the Cowboys from Jerry Jones regarding Mike McCarthy. You want to read the whole thing? Or just the,
well, I think
the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, the interesting part is what we talked about during the break, right? I mean, the fact that he claims before any negotiations began, it became mutually clear that it would be better for each of us to head in a different direction.
You look at that, and he says, throughout his tenure, I've been very complimentary of the job he has done. This is applied to our record over that period, culture, blah, 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 blah. Great respect, of course, blah, unique and challenging times. But I do find it interesting. Over the past week, Mike and I had the opportunity to conduct a joint review of all aspects of the past season, our players and staff, and also spent considerable time discussing the road forward for the team. These discussions were thorough and received an appropriate amount of time and depth to cover. Prior to reaching the point of contract negotiations, though, it became mutually clear that it would be better for each of us to head in a different direction. So, there's reports that say length of contract was a sticking point. There are other reports that say they never negotiated at all. This from Jerry Jones tells me Shefty is right. They never even actually started negotiations. Now, he's under contract all last week, and Jerry made him work with a complete review. All right, Mike, I got your vision for moving forward. It didn't align with mine. It was nice. Pack your stuff.
Interesting stuff today. I really didn't think it would happen. I thought that they would come to some sort of an agreement and McCarthy would be back. But obviously that's not going to be the case. Who's it going to be, though? That's what's so much fun about the Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to have so much fun over the next couple of weeks with rumors and reports and visits.
You think it's going to take a couple of weeks?
Well, it depends on who they're looking at. If they're looking at somebody that's still playing football, yeah, it might be that long.
Ben Johnson?
Could be. Would he do that, though?
No.
Would Ben Johnson be?
Well, I mean, look, it's musical chairs. Music is playing right now by the time Ben is done, right? Well, what if Mike McCarthy takes the Bears seat? Well, that's one last option for a Ben Johnson. So if the music's still playing and the Cowboys chair is there, maybe he lands in it.
Could be.
I mean, it is possible. If there is that serious interest from the Bears in Mike McCarthy, while everybody seems to think that job is going to go to Ben Johnson, what if they offer Mike McCarthy because they don't want to wait? Crazier things have happened. So I wouldn't necessarily rule out a Ben Johnson, but at the same time, I wouldn't give it a high percentage of happening. I mean, 4th and 31, sometimes you might actually pick it up, but most of the time you're going to be punting.
It's going to be interesting to see. Charean Williams, who will join us here on the Blitz a little bit later today to discuss all of this, has a tweet. She says Pete Carroll is their best option, but she doesn't think they'll get him. She thinks it's Kellen Moore, Jason Witten, or somebody Jerry knows well.
And that is such a big part of this. Now, I don't want to go all landman here, but the Jerry Jones cameo in Landman was so spot on that Jerry rarely hires people that he does not know well in a lot of different aspects of his world and his different businesses. Quite honestly, and I know this is way out of left field, but a couple of years ago when they replaced Rich Dalrymple as their main PR guy and they went with Tad Carper, there was a lot of shock there because Tad was coming from the NBA. He had worked a lot with LeBron, who could handle the circus that is the Dallas Cowboys. But, it was like, man, how well do you know him? Well, because Jerry tends to surround himself with people that he knows.
He does.
You added Cliff Kingsbury to that list. I don't know how well he knows Cliff, but I've heard Jerry say, I consider Cliff a friend. And that does matter to Jerry. It really does seem to matter to Jerry Jones.
Well, it's going to be interesting, but I could see that happening. And I don't know if, well, I mean, you're a big Cowboys fan.
Yes, I am.
Would Kellen Moore excite you as the next head coach, or Jason Witten? Would that excite you?
No. Yes and no. I mean, I love Jason Witten. And I always thought Jason Witten would be a hell of a coach. But to come in without being a coach at the NFL level and get that job. I know just my old co-host, Dat Wynn, he used to talk about Witt would be a great coach. Dat was a coach. Dat could be a coach in the NFL right now if he wanted to be. A lot of guys could be, but to be the head coach with no coaching experience, I know he's won a state championship or two now over at the high school level. It's very different. But when you think about what Jason Witten was in that locker room, when you hear what he was like in that locker room, he was a coach on the field, and he was that guy. So I would be, like right now I can know, but if he were the guy, all right, let's go. Let's see what you have.
Well, the respect level would be there for him. Well, I don't think there's any question about that.
I mean, it would be like Dan Campbell without the biting the kneecap kind of commentary because their personalities are different.
Yes.
But those dudes work the same way, and I've heard that before from guys like Dat Wynn, what they were like in the locker room. There are other players that probably hit that level that we're not thinking of right now, but Jason Witten, would he excite me? As long as would Jason Witten have the balls to tell Jerry Jones no? What I don't want is a yes man. I look at a Kellen Moore and I just wonder if that's what he would be, in as bizarre as it would.
Jerry would spank his hiney.
Well,
Are you kidding me?
That's what
Come
I'm saying.
on.
That's my. I mean, Kellen Moore is an incredible offensive mind.
Yes,
and he has proven to be, since he's left Dallas, a better coach than any of us gave him credit for when he was in Dallas, because he was always looked at as Dak's backup quarterback, who now is Dak's coach.
Yeah.
But did he ever really gain the full respect in that locker room with those guys? Because, you know, 1 minute he's on the practice field handing Dak a water bottle, and the next he's got a whistle, right? I mean, I just wonder how much that would carry over. He goes to L.A., didn't do much, but what he's done in Philly, you have to give him credit for. And because he does now have some of those skins on the wall, could he come back with a different perception when he walks in the building?
I think it's going to be an option, and I think it's going to be a big option. I think Jerry will consider that. And I do think Witten will be a consideration as well. And I wouldn't mind that. Look, either one of those guys, I'll be totally honest with you, or Cliff Kingsbury, or another hotshot coordinator, I just think Jerry needs to do something different. A Pete Carroll would disappoint me. A Ron Rivera certainly would. Mike Zimmer would be a disaster in my mind. I just I hope that somebody talks Jerry into doing something different, and that's getting a young, fresh mind to come in here and try to get something done. Problem is, Dak's so old. Geez,
here we go.
You got to hire an old man just to make sure that he's older than the quarterback. Damn.
Swing and miss. That sounded better in your head, didn't it?
No, it's true.
It really sounded better in your head.
Dak's such an old guy. You bring in a Kellen Moore, I mean, Dak would just slap him around. And
let me ask you, in all reality, young guy, fresh ideas, old guy, fresh ideas. In your age group, I think you should be campaigning for old guys. It's weird hearing age discrimination type comments coming out of your mouth, sir. But
age discrimination.
I mean, but honestly, there is something about the young college style that we're seeing in the NFL. I know you hate the guy, but you look at what Sean Payton was able to do this year with Bo Nix, and Sean Payton's offense does not look at all like the Drew Brees Saints offense. So if Pete Carroll is coming in with different ideas than what he had, when he won a Super Bowl with Russ Wilson, maybe. If you go with one of these defensive guys, it's like Ron Rivera. He is such a nice guy.
He is.
And he is a good coach. He is a leader of men.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Trust me, it wouldn't excite me, but I wouldn't be so completely mad at it depending on who his offensive coordinator is. Any coach that's on the defensive side, a defensive-minded coach, I could care less about more. I want to know who's the OC then, because who's gonna get the most out of Dak Prescott? That's where you got to look. Does Schottenheimer now get to call plays? If he still have as of right now, he doesn't have a job with the Cowboys because every contract expired. You look at a McCown, you look at a Wes Phillips, you look at some of these other guys that are on that list that you're talking about, and you just wonder where it's coming. I'm not necessarily anti any of these old retreads because at that point, okay, you're going to be the head coach. Cool. Who is on your staff? That, to me, is a bigger question, and I'm more curious to see those answered than who the actual head coach is if you're going with one of these defensive-minded retreads.
So, yeah, do you find a Ben Johnson type coordinator, a Kellen Moore type coordinator? That will be. And I say this is not a shot at Dak Prescott. It's really not, and you're probably going to take it that way. But you're going to have to find an offensive coordinator who is able to deal with a non-mobile quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to have to. The difference with Sean Payton, he's got a Bo Nix who can throw the football and he can move. And a lot of quarterbacks in the league now are that way. So you're going to have an offensive guy that can adapt if he comes from a different program with a mobile quarterback, because Dak Prescott's not a mobile quarterback anymore. He's just not.
No, he's not. And again, you need to hire every quarterback is a system quarterback. You've got to find a coach that can come in and take what Dak does well and exploit that, and the things that Dak can't do anymore, just throw that part of your playbook out. I mean, it's not going to be there. Obviously, and Jerry's got to know that, and whatever coach they hire is going to be that way. Some guys are going to work, some guys aren't. But to me, that is a bigger hire right now, is how does it affect the offense and Dak Prescott? Because you've made that commitment to Dak Prescott. You have made him the highest paid player in the NFL. And so outside of Jerry Jones, there is nobody more important in that organization than Dak Prescott when it comes to hiring the next coaching staff.
Totally agree with that. And so that's something that Jerry and Steven are going to have to look at. And they're going to have to, and any coach that comes in is going to have to know that. And they will. They'll do their research. But that's going to be something they're going to have to do. You can't have a guy come in and think you have Lamar Jackson on your field, because you don't. And so you can't design an offense that way. That's going to be the issue. And then Jerry's got to go to work and get some playmakers out there on the field, because they don't have any right now other than CeeDee Lamb. That's it. That's all they've got. So Jerry's got to get to work too, not just hiring a coach. He's got to put some talent on the field.
He does, and there is, as you try to look for bright spots in a situation like this. I would imagine the new coach, I mean, all right, one, they've got to go over the roster they have of who they know is under contract and coming back. So what can you get out of Dak and CD on the defensive side? Get the most out of Micah, right? First and foremost. But that new coach going to come in with a lot of new energy. Jerry typically with the new coach. All right, tell me what you need. Maybe this is a year that they do a little bit more in free agency, trying to get some of those guys over. Think about all the guys that the Cowboys are able to bring over once Dan Quinn got the job, right, as the defense coordinator. There will be that sort of activity, I would anticipate, but also when the draft comes. I mean, Ashton Genty is campaigning to be a Dallas Cowboy.
Is.
I mean, it's almost like, dude. But, I mean, he played his high school balls there at their practice facility. I mean, he wants to come home. Will the Cowboys get a real running back? whether it's Genty or Scadaboo or somebody, they better go find another running back to pair up with Rico Dowdle. If Rico Dowdle is back, that dude is a free agent.
He's a free agent.
Yes.
They've got a bunch of free agents they've got to deal with. They've got to decide who they want back and who they can allow to leave. So Cowboys have a lot of work to do between now and next August.
Mike McCarthy done in Dallas. Woo. Thanks, Jerry, for making today's show very easy.
Absolutely,
We
Jerry.
will get to the games they saw this weekend. I can promise you that. Coming up, some very bizarre stories in the headline Blitz.
As usual.
Oh, I just had to make sure you weren't anywhere near Caitlin Clark this weekend.
I was not.
Uh-huh. We'll get into that. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding I-35 with the sportstar.com.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the OrthoNow Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. OrthoNow provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, OrthoNow has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime-forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money on your sports action. Me and 10 million other people are playing every day, and now's the time to do it. Have you ever heard of this? You've got a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your season all game long, and now 1,000 times your cash. Heck, I've been a Prize Picks player for a long time. I've not seen this. 1,000 times your cash. It's playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the fun in the last few weeks of the football season. Prize Picks is the best place to play. Up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get the action on the sports that you're playing, and now you can get up to 1,000 times your cash. Join over 10 million members. Play today. And if you sign up today, you get up to $50 instantly when you play. Use the code ALAMO. Sign up today for 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks. Run your game.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit IFFhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Mike McCarthy era is over in Dallas. Jerry Jones released a statement saying that they both thought it would be best to go their separate ways. Mike McCarthy leaves Dallas with a winning record, 3 playoff appearances in 5 seasons as head coach. We got football tonight. It ends the Super Wild Card weekend. Rams taking on the Vikings in Glendale, Arizona. 6:30 start right here on 94.1.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Might do that Mellow Mushroom $50 gift card on YouTube a little bit later. So get over there to the YouTube channel. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Obviously, the big headline of the day, the Texans move on in the postseason. I did that just for pledge. Mike McCarthy, done in Dallas.
Done.
Mutual.
Done.
Says Jerry Jones.
That's what he says, that they both agreed it was better to go their separate ways, and that's what has happened. Mike McCarthy is going to get a lot of looks from other teams, at least a couple already interested according to ESPN. The Bears and the Saints. Interesting if Mike McCarthy has a choice in that matter, and nobody's saying that he will, but if he has a choice, you got to figure the Bears is the better job between the Bears and the Saints.
You know, because they've got the quarterback in place. Now, you know, Mike McCarthy, the program builder that he is, maybe the idea that he wants to go get his own quarterback and have those abilities there. Could you imagine big old Mike McCarthy on Bourbon Street?
Yeah.
All those restaurants, although there's good restaurants in Chicago.
Oh, absolutely.
There's good restaurants in every NFL city. Who am I kidding? But
he looks more like a Chicago guy than he does a New Orleans guy.
Well, he's a Pittsburgh guy.
Right.
I mean, if that job comes open, could you imagine the former Cowboys coach coaching the Steelers or the former Steelers coach coaching the Cowboys? I think both of them would break out in a rash when they put that logo on. I think Mike Tomlin would. I don't know if Mike McCarthy would, but Mike Tomlin. In the idea, it's possible. So the question's immediately, who's going to get the job in Dallas? You know, the Monday night game tonight, Rams-Vikings pregame show right now. They're not talking about the game. They're talking about the Cowboys coach. This is so designed perfectly by Jerry Jones.
Well, nothing against the Rams and the Vikings. That's why I was expecting it to happen yesterday before Philly played, before Washington played. That would have been nice, but it didn't. And so this Rams-Vikings game is kind of weird, isn't it? Although I think it's going to be a pretty good football game, but it's almost the forgotten playoff game. It's almost like the playoffs are over for the weekend. We're ready to head to next week. And then, we got one more. I think it's going to be a good football game.
It's going to be a great game. I think that's probably why they have it here. I mean, the TV guys kind of knew last night's Sunday night game. The NBC guy said, we want that one for Sunday night. It was the only good game of the weekend. And I think tonight you have that ability here for the Rams playing the home game in Phoenix. and it looks like they've painted the field with the Rams logos.
Yeah.
It's doing what they can. A lot of people from Los Angeles traveling down to Phoenix for this game today, so they'll have that. Spurs in Los Angeles tonight. They will play the Lakers. We expect to visit with Tom Orsborn of the Express News at 5:30 to get you ready for that game tonight. But just also, what's it been like this weekend in L.A. since he was out there ready for the game that got postponed over the weekend?
Yeah, I guess the Spurs have just been hanging out in L.A. too, kind of.
Although I had to switch hotels.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah.
So it's still bad out there, by the way. But the Lakers, they issued a statement saying, too, this we're providing a distraction for folks that want to come and forget about the fires for a little bit. And the Clippers are playing as well, so they're getting back to basketball business in L.A.
We'll have more on that coming up. Right now, though, let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
You know, I saw a story, and it's an awful story, by the way, but it should be a Florida man. Instead, unfortunately, it's Texas man.
Yes.
Charged with stalking Caitlin Clark. Now, I've got this audio.
Probably called her up, Caitlin.
Oh, that was creepy.
I like that you're here.
That's a Texas guy, too.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, that's a Texas guy.
I had to make sure you weren't anywhere near Caitlin Clark this weekend or having to call Albert over at AA Best Bail Bonds.
No.
But it wasn't Joe Reinagel.
It was not me. Was not me.
Dude. Texas man arrested, charged, stalking. The stuff she must have to deal with is beyond what most of us realize. That's embarrassing.
Well, I think, it's not just her, although she's kind of the thing right now when it comes to athletes in the WNBA. But still, I mean, this guy was sending just weird texts, and how he got her phone number to be able to do that is kind of creepy as well. Told he's going to get tickets and sit behind the bench, and said he drove around her house 3 times, and he's waiting for it, and just creepy stuff, right? And so apparently this guy's been arrested, and he faces up to 6 years in prison, according to this story, and a $10,000 fine. So, yeah, people, there's just a lot of crazy folks out there in the world.
Well, and again, when you're a celebrity, and you think about celebrities right now with all those high-end break-ins, having to upgrade their security to protect their stuff, got to have somebody to protect you too.
Yep.
And I do appreciate this story going public, although I'm sure Caitlin Clark probably wished it didn't. But maybe it does prevent some other Yahoo of trying it.
I hope so. And if you're Caitlin Clark, and apparently it was the Indiana team that really came to her, really revealed a lot of this, because maybe she went to them first before the police were involved. So interesting story for sure. And the fact that it was a Texas man. Come on, Texas. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, that is. It's almost like getting caught cheating on your wife because of a supermarket rewards card.
Dude,
what?
You talk about a knucklehead. All right, so here's the wife thought the guy was cheating, but she never had enough evidence to really hang him, right? So she hires a private detective. Well, apparently this guy's seeing his ex-girlfriend in a town not too far from their hometown, and he's a real coupon guy. And so he got on the supermarket's rewards program, and that's how they figured out what town he was in. They knew that his ex-girlfriend was there, and he got caught red-handed thanks to his desire to save a few bucks.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to cost him in the long run, though.
It sure as hell is.
Of all the way, how'd you get caught, man? That rewards card.
Damn it.
At the supermarket. If you're a Denise Richards fan, you're going to say, damn it, just like Joe did. She's on that reality show, Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. There's a lot of people on that show, but she has suffered a major injury, if you will.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, she ruptured her breast implant.
Oh, my goodness. How the hell did she do that?
Well, it's kind of obvious. Good physical reality show, and I don't know how you rupture it. It kind of makes it seem like it just popped, it deflated, whatever the case is.
She must have hit like
Yeah,
bam
yes.
on the water
apparently.
or something, right?
Yeah. But now she has to have surgery. She hasn't had any downtime yet, so she's not sure what she's going to have to do because of her work schedule. But, you know...
I mean, don't you have to get that thing out of there if it ruptures? I would think that there's little jelly or whatever the hell that is.
Well, I mean...
I would think you'd want to get that out of there pretty quick.
I don't think she wants to leave the show. But her she eventually, her implants did not survive the show.
No, both of them.
Yeah, well, it says implants. That's plural.
All right.
I mean, just saying.
She's not planning on wearing a bikini anytime soon.
Well, I'm not sure if she has OnlyFans, but that, I guess, would have to go on hiatus, too.
But, there's some knuckleheads out there that probably want to see that, the ruptured boobs.
Wonder what you could sell it for on eBay. At auction?
If you take it out.
Would she sign it?
She'd have to sign it. Somebody would buy it.
Weird people out there.
There are.
Mm-hmm. Do you imagine you're a cop sitting in your car, taking your lunch break, and you get slammed in the back of your patrol car by a guy?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was watching. The cop's the one that's in trouble. So this cop was watching porn on his phone.
While driving,
and he slammed into the back of a car that was stopped for a school bus.
Oh. So it went from bad to worse.
Yeah, it's not good. So according to the story, obviously the guy's in trouble. He admitted that that's what he was doing. And
why would you admit that?
I don't know.
Honestly, why would you admit that unless there was some way they could say, well, it looks like here you were watching porn, not paying attention, and you hit a car that stopped for a school bus.
Can you check that?
You can check everything.
I guess so.
I mean, with the email we got from the NFL about an hour and a half ago about facial recognition and submitting new photos for the thing that we had to consent to for the Super Bowl this year, I think they could probably check about anything and everything.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, security's going to be a little tighter this year than it has been in the past. I guess, but the guy admitted maybe he just had, his conscience was bothering him. And he just had, I was watching porn.
Not paying attention. There was a car and a big school bus.
Slammed into the back.
What were you doing? Well, let me tell you what.
Holy cow.
Oh, that's a great idea, Jim.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah. Hats off to Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes.
Totally agree.
Rick Barnes, from what I can tell, has become the first coach to call out a player that's making a lot of money right now for not doing what he is paid to do. In this NIL world, most of these college kids still get protected like college kids. But Rick Barnes, after the game against Texas over the weekend, he benched a guy because he didn't shoot the ball because he's there paid to shoot the ball.
I took him out first play of the second half because he didn't shoot the ball. That play was designed for that shot. And I told him, I said, if you're not going to do what you're getting paid to do, you can sit over here because he is getting paid to do that.
Good for Rick Barnes. And I hope more coaches come out and do that. Because, look, if you're going to pay a guy like, Carson Beck's going to get $4 or $5 million or whatever the figure is to go to Miami, the dude throws a couple of picks. Get your butt out of here.
Wow.
I mean, seriously, it's time we can do that now. If they're going to ask to be paid and they get paid, you got to perform.
I 100% agree. They've got to figure out something, but it sounds like Rick Barnes is the first to call out a player. Dude, you're getting paid for this. If you're not going to do your job, go sit down.
Exactly.
I love
right.
it. I
Good
love
for
it.
him.
In the NIL world, the way we talk to and about college kids, they kind of lose some of the protection that they've always had.
They do.
We used to reserve a lot of the college bashing for coaches and their poor decisions as well paid as they are. Like Sark. Let's talk about the travesty that was Friday night in the Cotton Bowl. We'll do that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smokey Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Try Roundtable Pizza's new pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza. And don't forget to pair it with our irresistible shareables, mozzarella sticks, jalapeno poppers, or golden potato wedges. The perfect bite to complement your meal. Find the nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back, I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The King of Paddle, a premier pickleball and paddle club in downtown San Antonio, is now open. And we're taking the Blitz live this Thursday from 2 to 6. State-of-the-art indoor courts, vibrant atmosphere in one location. Located at 314 Nolan Street. Join us at the King of Paddle this Thursday.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Accomplishing goals is hard. But when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Comment there. Hit the thumbs up button while you're there. You can watch. He's Joe. I'm Jason. On Thursday, you can come hang out with us, especially if you're a pickleball player. We're going to be live at San Antonio's newest pickle and paddleball destination. It's called King of Paddle. Downtown, 314 Nolan Street. We'll be out there Thursday from 2 to 6 at the King of Paddle.
That will be my first pickleball experience, and I plan to play.
Oh, it's fun.
I'm going to play.
It's fun. Might bring my own paddles.
You're like one of those bowlers that walk in with about 5 bags and all different kinds of stuff for every, 3 different pairs of shoes. And
no, you bring a headband. According to Greg Shelton, you need to bring a headband.
A headband.
Yeah, well, for you.
Uh-huh.
You're going to be worried about your hair.
Oh, I will be. Yeah.
But pickleball's fun.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing it. I've never played the game at all.
I want to play more. I really do want to play more. Remember a couple years ago, Joanna was like, I want to do this. So I got her like the paddle sets for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And probably used about 10 times. You got to wear a white belt, too.
Yeah, a white belt.
Well, that's what James Pledger says.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Why not?
Yes.
I'll wear a white belt. I'm not opposed to that.
Just make sure it matches your headband.
Uh-huh, and my shoes. So we'll be good.
Well, you're going to have to go buy official pickleball shoes.
They have official pickleball shoes?
I'm guessing. I don't know that they do or don't, but I'm guessing.
Well, I'm probably not going to do that.
Oh, come on.
But
you're going all in, go all in.
I'll have some good shoes on.
Well, yeah, the ones you're wearing now?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Pledge is saying there are, in fact, pickleball shoes.
That's fantastic.
Now, what makes that a pickleball shoe? I don't know. They said so. Perfect for pickleball.
That's what it says.
It says the Nike GP Pro men's pickleball shoe.
Ah.
And the swoosh is green like a pickle.
Is there amateur pickleball shoes for Joe? Since that's the pro level?
Well, dude, I've never played before, but I'm assuming if you play, it can't be that hard.
No, it's fun because you can drink beer while you. Although exactly. I will say it's a lot easier if you're playing doubles as opposed to singles in pickleball.
All right.
You don't have to move hardly
around.
At all. Yes.
Okay. I'm sincerely looking forward to playing, and I will, as we do most times, we'll get out there a little early and play some pickleball.
Yeah, we think we're going early?
Sure.
You're not going to stay late?
And play pickleball
yes.
late?
Because you can have beer then.
Well, that's a good point. Do
yes.
they sell beer there?
I don't know.
Okay.
The King of Paddle. I don't know if it's BYOB or not.
Interesting.
We'll have to find that out.
Well, one way or the other, I plan to play a little pickleball.
The Hoka's got pickleball shoes? See, I'm set. Those Hoka look like my Hokas. See, my neighbor Hal just texted. You got to get some good Skechers. They've got the best pickleball shoes. And he fancies himself as a pro pickleballer.
Now, are the Skechers the ones where you just stick your foot in?
Oh, yeah, that's Tony Romo.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Which is probably the reason why Hal bought those.
He's a Tony Romo guy?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Hal's into pickleball, huh?
Oh, big time.
All right.
Big time. So he says. Who knows?
Looking forward to it.
The problem when you have a game on Friday night, by the time you get to Monday, it's old news. We've had a bunch of playoff games. Mike McCarthy's no longer the coach of the Cowboys, and you got a game tonight. But we got to talk about what Texas didn't do on Friday night in the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State, and I know you were mad because you thought Texas would at least cover.
I did.
Right. But in reality, Texas had so many opportunities in that game. And I know some people that just don't like Quinn Ewers will blame Quinn Ewers, but it all starts with Sark. You've got a very high-paid, solid offensive line. You've got running backs that are very good at running the football. You even have an Arch Manning who you've used in running-type situations. So you've got the ball on the 1-yard line, and you run a toss sweep and lose. What was that from Sark? A 7-yard loss in a situation like that? We talked about it on Friday. We talked about it on Thursday. Sark is the one I was most concerned about because in big moments, he looks panicked. And that play call might have been one of the worst play calls that I've ever seen from Steve Sarkisian.
I mean, in all honesty, you've got 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Again, that offensive line, you've got a decent running back. You mentioned Arch Manning. That could have happened too. Hell, Quinn Ewers. I'd sneak the ball 4 times, and I think you'd score a touchdown. I mean, so to lose 7 yards on a pitch play is ridiculous.
It's, again, if you can't get into the end zone from there, tip your cap to Ohio State, but it doesn't take a genius play caller from there on what plays you need to call over and over and over again. Sark outthought himself, and the only thing worse than the actual play call was Sark trying to explain it afterwards.
First 2 plays, we threw the ball into the end zone. We got back-to-back PIs, and when we got down to the 1, we went to a heavy package, which is Jarek's package, and so we ran it, and we obviously didn't get much movement at all. And we had a plan to try to get the ball on the edge when we got down there. They went to big people. I can't quite tell. It was on the far side of where it got leaky. But that, it's one of those plays. If you block it all right, you get in the end zone, and we didn't, and we lose, quite a bit of yardage. And at that point, you're kind of stuck behind the 8 ball because we knew we were in 4-down territory because of the score of the game. And I was okay even if we didn't score, not that I didn't want to score, but thinking, all right, they're going to have to be backed up, and we'll probably get one more possession with good field position. The last thing you think is that, the sack, and this is going to bounce right to the guy who's going to run for a touchdown. So it's unfortunate. That was the circumstances because it was a really nice drive by the offense to get all the way down there, and 1st and goal on the 1, and we don't score. You, quite frankly, you probably don't deserve to win that way.
No, you don't. Ohio State deserved to win. I don't get it. And that explanation doesn't really help me at all.
It was unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
We lose in the semifinals again.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But, at least they get there. Right? Is that what we're going to hear? We're going with that?
Well, what do you mean? We're going with that. Yeah, I mean, you can't tell me a guy sucks and this, that, when they've been to the semifinals 2 years in a row.
I think his play calling this year was atrocious. And give me a team that they beat this year of any substance.
Everybody not named Ohio State and Georgia.
Right. And that's about all they played.
Well, I mean, they had that solid win over the Aggies.
Yeah, well, they tried to blow that one too because of Sark's stupidity.
Tried. Again, you look at Quinn Ewers will probably go down as one of the most underappreciated Longhorns because he does get them 1 game away 2 years in a row, and everybody's ready for him to move on.
Yes.
And he even talked about coming up short again in the semifinals.
It's tough. I think Coach Sark hit it. It's the life of a competitor, and it sucks being on this side of things for sure. I mean, back-to-back years, pretty much the game decided in one play. And, it's hard. It's hard. All the work that we put in, being in the Final Four back-to-back years and coming up short 2 years, it's tough. But, I think that's how life is. You're going to get punched in the face in some hard moments.
Well, yeah, you got punched in the face for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Your draft stock plummeted, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does. Just one question. I know what you're going to say. It was the plan. If Arch Manning wasn't better than Quinn Ewers, and that's why Quinn is starting, and Arch wasn't ready, what makes you think he's going to be ready all of a sudden magically when they start the season next year?
It's not magically. It's development. I thought he was ready to go. The fact that Quinn was there. If Quinn would have left, Arch would have played this year, and who knows. whatever agreements they have, and this is one of the hard parts about college recruiting and the NIL era, whatever they're paying that guy, I don't know necessarily, especially in a situation like this, and this was a unique situation that Arch was okay waiting, and people were okay making that guy very, very rich while not playing, but the balance, I mean, you look at Kevin Sumlin, he had no problem getting quarterbacks on campus. He just couldn't keep them there because he couldn't decide who was going to play because all of them are promised one thing, and then how are you going to deliver that? The fact that Arch and the Mannings were okay with this plan, but is he ready? We'll find out because the keys are his. Quinn can't come back. Now, he can go somewhere else if he's not going to the NFL, but it's Arch's turn now in Austin. And I was really surprised we did not see more Arch Manning during this playoff run. Really surprised we did not see more of Arch Manning. And the one thing I wanted to see Arch do more than anything is throw the ball in these playoffs, and we didn't really see that.
I just hope one day we see the pictures that Quinn has of Sark with a goat.
With a goat.
Because that's got to be it.
A goat.
It's got to be. Or something. There's got to be something that he had holding over Sark's head. Don't you play that Manning kid. I'll release these pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate.
It just doesn't make any sense
That would be
to me.
unfortunate.
I mean, you play the best players. I don't care what promises there are. And so it only tells me that I guess Quinn's better than Arch. I mean, if you're going by the great Steve Sarkisian, apparently he gave them the best chance to win. So I just hope Arch improves where he's better than Quinn by the time the season begins next year.
Well, absolutely. So a week from tonight, we've got a national championship game between Ohio State and Notre Dame. The Blitz on that Monday. Next Monday, we'll be live out at the Rue Pub at 281 and at Redland Road to get you ready for the national championship game, which should be an interesting game because, man, I'm not a fan of either of those programs.
Nor am I.
I don't know who I'm going to root for in that one.
Well, Ohio State, there's no debate or no choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
It will be Ohio State. Although, I got to tell you, I really like Notre Dame's coach.
Well,
I really do.
They're likable. And Marcus Freeman is a good dude.
Marcus Freeman is likable. He seems like a really good guy.
Mm-hmm. Apparently won't be the next Cowboys coach.
Well,
Although
maybe that's too bad.
I've heard that floated around as well. Not going to happen. Speaking of the Rue Pub, Chip, who owns the place over there, he just sent me a picture. He's Googling his watch. Pickleball shoes, are they worth it?
Is Chip a pickleball guy?
He might be.
Wow.
You never know. Now, I can't read what he's written here because I like my job, but little WTF action because he's learning something today.
Well, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I had no idea. I'm learning something. I had no idea Chip was a pickleball guy.
All I know is if he gets into pickleball, kind of like with golf, he's going to have every outfit that you can get. That guy shows up to play golf looking like he went into the golf store and picked up, what's the mannequin wearing? That's what I'm buying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is okay. See, golfers can dress any way they feel like it.
Well, he's got white belts just like you.
The more out there, the better. Yeah.
Again, you're going to get this way. You're going to realize there's outfits in pickleball, and it's going to change your whole course.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And there's beer involved.
Well, yeah, which is another plus with golf. There's beer involved there, too. Anything that there's beer involved with, and you get better at it the more you drink, I'm in. Bowling, darts, pickleball, apparently.
How long is this list going to go?
I'm just planning my weekend, Minix, all right?
Going to be a good time. Next Monday out at the Rue, Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Yes.
The national championship game nobody wanted.
Well, Ohio State and Notre Dame did.
Yeah, screw them.
Ohio State's going to dog slap them. Female dog slap them.
You're going to have to scratch that itch at some point, Ryan Nagel. Come on. Good Lord. Who's going to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? Let's talk about it coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast because, of course, you do. Best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all of those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the NFL wildcard weekend finally ends. We'll talk about Minnesota, or is it the Rams?
And the Spurs back in action after a little mini break. Did the Spurs get back on track? We'll talk about it all. Starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair? Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
Is health or fitness a goal this year? Great news. The King of Paddle has arrived in San Antonio with 8 pickleball and 6 paddle courts. Their indoor facility suits all skill levels from beginners to seasoned players. Mark your calendar for their January 18th and 19th winter tournament. Find details at thekingofpaddle.com or at the King of Paddle SA on social media. Visit their new downtown location at 314 Nolan Street or check out the new King of Paddle facility with us this Thursday as we broadcast the Blitz live from 2 to 6.
In Stone Oak Parkway, hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
George gets justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Right?
Sure.
Or the dentist.
Somebody on YouTube that's watching right now, please let me know if you've heard of this artist. Or you could tweet us at Joe Reinagle 210 at Jason Minix. What else do they sing? Put out? I have no idea.
Well, they don't sing, obviously. It was just a lot of music.
No, that was an instrumental. But you're right. I mean, that's the long elevator ride.
It is.
I mean, somehow, it's like Pledge's dip back into the old Target playlist from his days of wearing a red shirt and khakis. You got a part-time gig over there again? You're actually dressed like you can go to work at Target after you get done here. No? All right.
He's looking sharp.
Why, just because I have a red tie on?
Well, something like that, yeah. You look like you're going to work somewhere else. Maybe. I don't know. Cowboys make it official today. Mike McCarthy is done in Dallas. The stories, the reports, everything that we've heard over the last week, because it's been a full week since the Cowboys season has ended, and the Cowboys haven't done a damn thing. At least it doesn't feel like it as far as moving on to the 2025 season and fixing the problems. According to Jerry, and quite frankly, according to Mike, they have gone over every aspect of the 2024 season and how they're going to move forward. So, I don't know, I guess a week's worth of self-evaluation, if you want to go with that. But what I do find interesting in the Jerry Jones statement that was released at 2:36 this afternoon, that prior to reaching the point of contract negotiations, though, it became mutually clear that it would be better for each of us to head in a different direction. So there was a Schefter report this morning that said negotiations never began. There were other reports today. I believe Yahoo was the first report that contract talks stalled over length. The reality is you can only go with Jerry's statement at this point, and they never actually got started. So I think Schefter was right today, although who knows when you're going through and you're looking at future plans with Mike McCarthy. He had a 5-year plan, and maybe Jerry wanted a 2 or 3 year plan. But it was obvious that it was time. It was time for a breakup.
Well, yeah, by one or both. But it's hard to follow the Cowboys, right? Because when Jerry says the hay's in the barn, all right, you imply that a decision has already been made, one way or the other, and that's what I take and how I translate the hay's in the barn. It's already done. Decision made. He wants Mike McCarthy back. Mike McCarthy said after the game he wants to be back as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Both guys seem to do that. Then all of a sudden they just wake up today or yesterday and say, maybe it's best we just go in a different direction.
No, hay's in the barn. And you own the team. You're the one writing the check. There was a report that Mike McCarthy made $8 million this year.
Yes.
Right? Now, I don't know how true that is or not, because we've also read between 4 and 7. And maybe each year he made a little bit more money. Either way, Jerry's hay in the barn might have meant, I like you back at $15 million over 3 years. And if Mike's thinking, 5 years at $9 or $10 million, all right, hay's in the barn at this, not at that if there were no negotiations. Was the offer, if there were, because Jerry uses the term negotiations. Did Jerry just give him such a ridiculous offer that Mike was like, yeah, I'm not going to work for that? And he was like, well, I'm not going to pay you anymore. There's no negotiations. All right, man, this has been fun. Let me get a box.
So maybe
clean out the office.
Maybe he pulled out that incentive-laden contract, or maybe Mike McCarthy heard that soundbite. Yeah, this incentive-laden, and he said, no, Jerry, before we even start, that incentive-laden thing ain't happening. Not going to happen. And Jerry said, well, okay, it's probably best we go different directions. Because if you bring in a Kellen Moore or a Jason Witten or name somebody, especially if it is a retread, you're looking at more than $5 million a year. You're going to have to pay to get somebody in here. Whatever the going rate is for head coaches these days, nobody's going to come here and work for cheap.
No, and quite frankly, I do wonder if a lot of this for Mike McCarthy is Jason Garrett and the fact that Jerry Jones was very patient with Jason Garrett. Jerry Jones did not hold the head coach Jason Garrett accountable for things that were beyond his control, like injuries that derailed a season. And that was one of my biggest fears in this, and we've talked about it, is he going to blame Mike for this year not making the playoffs, knowing the amount of injuries they've had? Most people wouldn't win with these kind of injuries, especially with where they were. If Jerry is doing a true evaluation of this franchise and this roster, he would fire the general manager if his name wasn't Jerry Jones for the roster that was put together, and knowing that no coach could win when you don't have a running game and you don't have more than one solid wide receiver and you don't have, and then you add in injuries. So that's why I was like, I could see Mike coming back if Jerry holds McCarthy to the standard he held Jason Garrett. And when I say it that way, those are beyond your control. Des caught it. That's beyond was beyond Jason's Garrett control. But there was a love between Jason Garrett and Jerry Jones like a son. He was family. And I do think Jerry wanted his own version of Tom Landry, and he wanted it to be Jason Garrett. It didn't work. Let's go back. We were all a little surprised that he actually moved on from Jason Garrett. He wasn't going to be as patient with Mike McCarthy in another 5 years. Now you're looking at a 10-year run like Jason Garrett had, because Jerry typically doesn't want to fire a coach. So length of contract does make sense to me. Is there unfinished business with McCarthy? Overall, you would say he was successful in Dallas during the regular season, but he was brought in to have playoff success, and he was a failure there.
No, I think you have to look at his time with Dallas as a success. You don't win 12 games 3 years in a row and not you have to call that a success. But I think maybe that's a detriment as well because of his lack of playoff success. And because obviously to win 12 games, you've got to have some pretty good teams.
Yep.
So you can't blame Jerry Jones for not putting teams on the field that were good enough to win football games, except for this past year. He didn't do that this year, and then the injuries mounted up, and everything just started to roll downhill. So as far as Mike's first 4 years here, or certainly the 3 in a row that he won 12, Jerry had some talent on this football team.
Yep.
And they assembled some good football teams. So in that respect, you can't blame Jerry Jones and say he never gave Mike McCarthy anything, because he did, and that's obvious. And Mike couldn't get it done in the playoffs.
Mike McCarthy, 49-35 in the regular season with the Dallas Cowboys. 3 straight 12-5 seasons. First year, Dak injury. Last year, Dak injury. Again, that's a pretty good run over 5 years.
Yeah.
But nothing to show for it in the playoffs. You've got one playoff win. One.
That's it.
That's it. And last year, the team in all phases was just awful in the postseason. If you think about last year's team, in that Green Bay loss, they hadn't lost at home all year. They had outscored everybody by, damn near 200 points, 172, I think, was the point differential at home. And they get run out of the building. They looked unprepared, uninspired, almost too afraid of the moment. And that does fall on the coach, having your team ready to go. I mean, it's one thing if a player fell short, but everybody fell short. And I think that's part of the reason why Mike Tomlin is getting so much criticism today, which is very unusual for Mike Tomlin. After yet another playoff failure, his team looked unprepared in Saturday's game against Baltimore.
Well, they did, Jason, and not only that, they end the year on a 5-game losing streak.
Yep.
I mean, that doesn't do anybody any good. I would give Mike Tomlin a lot of credit for making the quarterback change. It was successful early on because, Justin Fields was winning games. And he says, no, we're going to go with Russell Wilson. And that proved to be successful until it wasn't. So, yeah, you got to look at the coach there. You have to. So, but every report I've read is that Pittsburgh, at least at this point in time, is not planning to part ways with Mike Tomlin.
How? Because that's what they do. I mean, it is so like I saw a tweet from, of all things, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy. I mean, Mike Tomlin is getting the Mike McCarthy, Jason Garrett treatment.
He should.
Mike Tomlin, since his last playoff win, according to this tweet from Underdog, and it's true, the Houston Texans have completed 2 rebuilds since Mike Tomlin last won a playoff game. They were 4-12 in 2017. Then they won 2 division titles and a playoff game. They were 4-12 in 2020. Texans were 4-13 in 2021. Traded Deshaun Watson. 3-13-1 in 22. Drafted C.J. Stroud. 2 division titles, 2 playoff wins. And Mike Tomlin still has a job.
Yeah. I mean, that's if he was anywhere other than Pittsburgh, he wouldn't have a job.
No.
They would have moved on from him. But Pittsburgh is loyal to head coaches. They have been to Tomlin. And look, I don't like this, because I've heard people say, well, at least they get to the playoffs. Well, if you just get to the playoffs and that's your goal, fine, you're successful. But I don't think that's the Pittsburgh Steelers' goal, certainly not the ownership and the management. You got to win some games. And so at some point in time, that falls on the head coach. That's the way it works. Likable guy, good coach, but maybe, they need a change of scenery. Maybe Mike Tomlin needs a change of scenery. And go their separate ways.
And you kind of think the only like Andy Reid is the one that comes to mind, where all the success and when he left Philadelphia and we all were, wow, right? And he goes to Kansas City and he has success. There's not many others out there that have been with an organization forever. You feel like you're part of that organization, then you move somewhere else. And you have that kind of success. There's so few examples of that happening. I mean, but you do, sometimes you just go, is it time? What's going on in that building? Because, I know too many Pittsburgh fans that, they're tired of Mike Tomlin. And it's weird, you look here in San Antonio with Pop or, in Miami with Eric Spoelstra, having coaches that are around this long where you can go through, the peaks and championships, but also the valleys. A lot of organizations don't give you that kind of leeway, that kind of leash and have that kind of patience. But when you really deep dive in what's happened in Pittsburgh in the playoffs lately, regular season success is great, but you got to get something done in the playoffs.
You have to. You have to. And especially a franchise like Pittsburgh, who's used to hoisting that trophy. I mean, they're a lot like the Cowboys, and that's why the expectations are higher. And winning 12 games in the regular season 3 years in a row is great, but it's not good enough when you're talking about a team like the Cowboys, like the Steelers. San Francisco is another franchise. They're the same way. I mean, you expect to win. If you're Cleveland, you don't, right? And you'd like to, but you don't. The Saints, you don't. I mean, it just there are franchises out there that the expectations just aren't as high as they are for a franchise like the Cowboys, the Steelers, the 49ers, and so on and so forth.
And yet at some point, some of those, like the Saints, trip into a Super Bowl.
They do.
Cowboys can't even trip into an NFC championship game.
Bummer.
Well, the next guy, no pressure on you, dude. Do something that hadn't been done in 30 years.
You'd be a hero, whoever you are.
We'll get you a statue.
That's right.
You would definitely get a statue.
Ring of honor.
Even maybe a slice of pizza. You could do that with us Friday. The Blitz is going to be live out at Round Table Pizza. They're on 281. We're out there 2 to 6. We're going to have prizes to give away, including free pizzas. Maybe even free pizza for a year. Round Table Pizza off 281. The Blitz live this Friday. Start your weekend with us Friday out at Round Table Pizza.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money on your sports action. Me and 10 million other people are playing every day, and now's the time to do it. Have you ever heard of this? You've got a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your season all game long, and now 1,000 times your cash. Heck, I've been a Prize Picks player for a long time. I've not seen this. 1,000 times your cash. It's playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the fun in the last few weeks of the football season. Prize Picks is the best place to play. Up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get the action on the sports that you're playing, and now you can get up to 1,000 times your cash. Join over 10 million members. Play today. And if you sign up today, you get up to $50 instantly when you play. Use the code ALAMO. Sign up today for 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks. Run your game.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Joe, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? HIMS can help. Get started at hims.com/joy. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The King of Paddle, a premier indoor pickleball and paddle club in downtown San Antonio, is now open, and we're taking the Blitz there live this Thursday, 2 to 6. Food, drinks, and a chance to check out the King of Paddle at 314 Nolan Street.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Spurs get back at it tonight. They'll take on the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a back-to-back with the Lakers. Game 1 was supposed to be Saturday night. That was postponed because of the wildfires. Tonight, though, second game of that, and it is at 9:30 from Crypto.com Center in L.A. And, of course, the Mike McCarthy era in Dallas is over. Two sides, according to reports, couldn't agree on the length of a contract. McCarthy is free to choose where he wants to go next.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Normally, the Monday following the end of the regular season, it's Black Monday when all the coaches get fired. Jerry delayed it a week.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. McCarthy out Monday. He just waited an entire week, and it almost feels like lost a week of working on who the next head coach is going to be if he's interested in talking to, and why wouldn't he be, some of the guys that currently have jobs in the NFL that are under contract. He's missed the window on a Ben Johnson, on an Aaron Glenn, on anybody with Kansas City staff.
If you want to get those, if you want to talk to him early, that's for sure. John Gruden's name has popped up. And I saw over the weekend, because Tom Brady apparently is calling all the shots with Las Vegas now.
Yeah.
That's what it seems to be anyway.
He even has that Davis haircut all of a sudden. You see that Photoshop look over the weekend?
It sure did.
It was ugly.
Sure did. Maybe it rubs off on you when you walk into Mo's office.
Poor choice of words.
It's so. It's going to be interesting to see what Brady does. If he's got this much power and this much pull with the Las Vegas Raiders, there's no way Fox is going to allow that.
Fox would. There's no way the NFL should allow that. Now, the reality, though, what does bother me about Jerry Jones not getting interviews with, say, a Ben Johnson or an Aaron Glenn, you get the sense that all these, laundry list of interviews that every other organization seems to do, because they're looking for ideas on well, how would this guy do it? Because he's a part of this system. So you can get some intel, and maybe you incorporate that in to what you're doing. Generally, a general manager would do that. Well, this guy had a good idea. We didn't really like him overall, but I really like that idea. How do we make that work? And if you're Jerry, why wouldn't you want to pick the brain a little bit of a Ben Johnson? Why wouldn't you in an interview session? Because, man, those interviews, those guys show up, and the preparation that goes into it from organizational standpoint down, it is so detailed. It is so different than what most of us go through with an interview from what I've been told. I mean, it's intense, it's long, and it's very detailed. It's not a get to know you, we'll get back to you kind of thing. You go in with a plan and present. And in some cases, the team is also presenting to you. Do the visions align? But just to get the inside knowledge on some of these guys, because maybe not this time, but Ben Johnson's going to be around for a long time.
Absolutely he is. And you would think that Jerry, and again, we talk about a Pete Carroll or a Ron Rivera or name another guy that's been around for a while. Pete Carroll's not a long-term solution. No. I mean, think about it. No. 5 years perhaps. The guy's 73 years old. It looks like he's in great shape. Maybe he could last longer than that. But you get a young guy, and if we're talking about a Kellen Moore or even a Jason Witten or a Ben Johnson or an Aaron Glenn, that could be a viable solution for years to come, especially if they have some success. But it just doesn't seem very Jerry Jones like to hire a coordinator like that and bring him in.
No. And other than Al Harris, I don't know who on the staff is promotable to head coach.
Well, Mike Zimmer.
Like I said. And you go back, I mean, you can only take Jerry for what he says. But it wasn't that long ago he talked about how he thought Jason Witten would be a great coach in the National Football League. I don't know that Jerry says that if he truly doesn't believe it. And, so that obviously goes on the list. That's one that would make sense. The idea of Josh McCown a couple of years ago, everybody thought the Texans were crazy talking to this guy. And, the Texans might have been so far ahead of the curve because now his name is being talked about for a variety of opportunities, whether it's head coach or coordinator. And look at the success with Sam Darnold. There's a lot of guys saying, yep, I'll take a lot of credit here, and you go with it. Cliff Kingsbury, his name is going to be back in there, and I know he wants to be a head coach again, has a relationship with Jerry Jones. And while a current relationship with Jerry Jones isn't a requirement, it certainly feels like that's going to go a long way.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. And Cliff, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that choice at all. I think the offensive mind that he is would be good. Another opportunity for Cliff, I think, is good. He's got experience as a head coach, which a guy like Kellen Moore does not. And it's a whole different ballgame going from coordinator to head coach. So Cliff has got that experience. What could he do with a Dak Prescott? What kind of offense would he put in to suit a Dak Prescott, who, quite frankly, is not the most mobile guy in the world? And you'd have to design that offense there. Is that something Cliff would be interested in? Because let's face it, he had Kyler Murray, and now he's got the kid in Washington, who both very mobile quarterbacks.
But he's the offensive coordinator in Washington. If he wants to be a head coach, what can he do with somebody who isn't quite as mobile? And the reality is, I would not anticipate Dak running a lot. At one point, that was a big part of his game. Mm-hmm. It's not anymore. I don't know with this hamstring injury if that keeps him from doing it on a regular basis. You never know, but you certainly can do stuff with a guy that has the arm of Dak Prescott, and a lot of it's receiver concepts, blocking schemes, all of it that works together. You talk about, Kellen Moore. Well, the Eagles did win yesterday, 22-10. Jalen Hurts was 13 of 21 for 131 yards. Last night was not a game tape that says, yeah, man, here's an offensive coordinator lighting up the scoreboard. I mean, that Packers-Eagles game might have set offenses back a little bit, to be quite honest with you, in some regards. But there's familiarity with Kellen Moore, and there's familiarity with Dak Prescott. So I wouldn't rule out a Kellen Moore. I wouldn't rule out a John Gruden. It's Jerry Jones. I don't know who you could rule out at this point. Zimmer, maybe, but it would still surprise me. And, you know, the one, and just throw, since we're in the process of throwing spaghetti against the wall, the idea of a trade for Mike Tomlin, which is out the window now that Mike McCarthy is no longer with the Cowboys, although the contract doesn't expire until midnight. As weird as it sounds, is Sean Payton somehow going to be weirdly into this mix?
No.
I mean, you quickly say no. At one point, there was that trade that was damn near done, and there is that love.
Sure.
And Sean Payton still has a place in Dallas.
There is an $18 million a year contract. You think Jerry's paying that? And he's also got a rookie quarterback that he needs. In that particular job.
It's spaghetti on the wall. Do I think it would happen? No. But would I rule it out? I don't know that I would at this point, because when you look at what Jerry has done to this point, if the hay was in the barn, he's got something up his sleeve that is not going to be as traditional, it seems like. Hay was in the barn, right? He waits a whole week.
That's what he said.
Denies McCarthy the chance to go interview with the Bears, which kind of made us all think, well, I guess McCarthy's coming back. Apparently, they never even negotiated. So what does Jerry Jones have up his sleeve that none of us are seeing right now? And Sean Payton would be on that list.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen, but it's Jerry, it's the Cowboys. I wouldn't rule anything out. And I know $18 million a year, no. But if Jerry thought that's the guy that's going to get me another Super Bowl, he would give him that.
Well, it's interesting because at this point in time, he's under contract, Sean Payton.
Yeah.
So that you'd have to trade for the guy.
Yeah.
And what would you do? Yeah, that's a long shot. That's not going to happen. Maybe next time. I mean, they missed out on Payton, right?
They did.
I mean, they missed out on Payton. They missed out on Dan Quinn when you want to look back at it. So Mike McCarthy was the guy, and it's hard to disagree. I mean, Mike McCarthy's no slouch. He's not. He's a good football coach. So I just think that it's going to be, you talk about the unknown, I think it's going to be a surprise. And I keep bringing up Jason Witten's name. I'm telling you, I could see Jerry doing that. And without a hesitation, because he's a Cowboy, he's familiar with what's going on there, and I could see that happening with everything that I have.
I wouldn't be surprised. And if you go and you hire a Jason Witten, who is the coordinators? Because that to me would be bigger than who is the head coach.
Absolutely.
You know, as far as setting the culture, the tone, making decisions. I mean, the one thing, while he wasn't very good, and that's being kind, as a Monday Night Football analyst, the one thing that Jason Witten was good at in the TV booth was situational football commentary.
Yep.
Time management issues, use of timeout. When he was critical, those were the areas. And just when you listen to some of those analysts with, you know, the nuts and bolts of football and game management, Witten was actually good in that area on television. Some of the other stuff, obviously not so much. But as a head coach, it baffles me to this day that we still have so many coaches seemingly screw up the most basics, you know. Last night in the Tampa Bay game, about 10, 12 seconds running off the clock? Like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I mean, what are you doing, right? If the Cowboys can get a coach that can do that, remember when McCarthy couldn't find the scoreboard in Los Angeles to know when to call a timeout?
Yeah.
If you can find somebody that can do that and then have somebody calling plays on offense and defense, I think you're doing a pretty good job.
I wonder, I don't know, when will we see Rex Ryan again on TV? And
well, he was all over it today.
Will he start politicking for the Cowboys job now?
Oh.
Or would he? Is he determined to go back to the New York Jets?
By this point, has he gotten a second interview with the Jets?
I don't think so. No. I don't think so. But that's another retread. How would he be? I don't know. The guy's a good coach. Obviously, he had some success with the Jets.
He had a lot of success with the Jets.
So, this is going to be fascinating between now and however long it takes to find a head coach for the Cowboys. It's going to be fascinating.
Well, Jerry won't rush into a decision because he likes the weeks-long conversation about who it's going to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
He will milk it for all he's worth.
It's going to be fun.
And be a big topic tonight during the Monday night playoff game. Rams, Vikings, then later tonight. Spurs back in action tonight as they take on the Lakers there in Los Angeles. You want to try to win some money watching the games tonight? Do like me and about 5 million other happy players. Download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game. It is so much fun to play the Pick'em game where you could win up to 1,000 times your money choosing higher or lower on player stats. You can even mix and match. You've got NFL and NBA tonight. You can mix in some college basketball if you wanted to do up. Just create your own experience. And, looking at, like I was looking earlier, like for tonight's game, Cooper Kupp was higher or lower 7 targets. Not catches, not yards. I was looking at the targets that he might get, some of the different yardage. And, Underdog is the only pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button. Cash out whenever you want. They even have the rescues, Underdog rescues, because second chance. Get a player that gets injured early, causes you to lose. Not only will you get your money back, you'll get a promo on your next one. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app. Sign up with promo code STAR, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, promo code STAR. Must be over 18. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, use promo code STAR when you sign up at Underdog Fantasy.
South Texas College Football Headquarters is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And the most wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon.
Call 656-PURE Connecticut.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey guys, Jason Minix here from the Blitz. Have you avoided getting your T levels checked? Why continue to live with low energy or low libido potentially caused by low testosterone? Make a New Year's resolution and go to Synergenics. Their personalized TRT goes beyond standard treatments, and they have GLP-1 weight loss options as well. For current patients, Synergenics offers a $150 referral credit whenever you refer a new patient. Get started. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com. SYNERGENX health.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Is health or fitness a goal this year? Great news. The King of Paddle has arrived in San Antonio with 8 pickleball and 6 paddle courts. Their indoor facility suits all skill levels from beginners to seasoned players. Mark your calendar for their January 18th and 19th winter tournament. Find details at thekingofpaddle.com or at the King of Paddle SA on social media. Visit their new downtown location at 314 Nolan Street or check out the new King of Paddle facility with us this Thursday as we broadcast the Blitz live from 2 to 6.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. It's a Mellow Mushroom Monday. Before 6 today, we'll give away a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom.
Nice.
McCarthy could use some comfort food right now. Big old
Absolutely.
Mellow Mushroom. The Mighty Meaty is my favorite over there. All meats, no vegetable.
Yeah.
Although McCarthy would probably go with the pretzel bites and beer cheese, too. No
I
doubt.
think he's fine.
He's fine.
I don't feel too bad for Mike McCarthy. He'll be employed soon, I'm sure, if he wants to be.
He'll have an opportunity. It'd be interesting to see. There are teams that are interested in talking to him. We'll see if that's real or if that was his agent getting stuff out there to maybe create a little urgency for Jerry. We'll see how it plays out. But, you know, Jerry, and congratulations, Jerry Jones, you've done it again. Instead of talking about the games over the weekend, we've been talking about Mike McCarthy most of the day. Let's talk about what we saw on the football field this weekend. We had one good game, and that is it. Last night's game, Washington doinked their way past the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Gonzalez looking to send Washington into the divisional round. Snap good, hold down, kick on its way. It is good! The Cardiac Commanders are the Clutch Commanders! They do it again! We'll see you in Detroit!
And Giant Gonzalez kicks in the door and kicks us into the second round of the playoffs!
Come on, Bram.
Wow.
Come on, Bram.
Hey, you can't blame him for being excited. The first playoff win since 2006.
I've known Bram Weinstein a long time. That was his first ever playoff game that he got to broadcast.
Oh, that's nice.
And even sent him a text that said, great call on the game-winning kick. The Cowboy fan in me hated it. The broadcaster in me loved it.
Nice.
Because that's what it is. You could hear the doink. That was the only good game of the weekend. The rest of them, quite frankly, weren't all that great. Now, granted, I imagine the Houston Texans fans, they thoroughly enjoyed what they saw because, quite frankly, they were the only ones that thought that was going to happen.
No, and nobody gave Houston a chance. Nobody, except Houston. I mean, even our good friend John McClain didn't give Houston a chance. We certainly did not. Pledge picked him, but he's just such a homer. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's nauseating. It is, but that's okay.
Nauseating.
That homer in him. But hey, props to them. They look good. And as I'm watching that game, I'm thinking, number one, Justin Herbert was horrible. Although I think Harbaugh did a great job this year, and I think he'll continue to improve that team. But the Houston Texans played well. And I think it was one of the best games of their season, to be totally honest with you. The defense looked good. The offense was moving the football, and I thought they looked good.
You know, the idea, and I find it interesting for C.J. Stroud saying it was fun, having fun playing football.
It's not easy to have fun while you're not executing. You know, execution breeds, energy and breeds that excitement to the game. So once you started executing, that's when we started playing, with that swag. And I think it pops out like on film, or it pops off when we're rolling, but it's that in between we need to fix. So still a ton of things we can fix, but I definitely think the joy that we have after executing, we need to keep that rolling.
And I was impressed really with the amount of time that Stroud had most of the game on Saturday to throw the football and to look downfield. And then, Nico Collins was incredible. That dude was incredible. He was getting open all over the place.
We had the game on in the booth doing the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by Valero. And Pledge sometimes must have forgot that his microphone in my ear was still on. And I'm glad some of what he was saying was not going over the air just in our ears, although he confused the hell out of Danny Closa more than once with
that's
the
easy to
screaming in the background.
That's easy to do.
But so I wasn't watching the game as intently as if I'd have been, say, at the Rue Pub or on my couch. But and Pledge, or Joe, you tell me, it felt like that play where there was the bad snap and CJ was able to pick it up and looked like it was going to be a disaster, and it didn't. That it feels like the game changed there.
It did. They ended up getting a first down there, and when things just weren't going right, and that changed everything. The entire complexity of the game changed after that play. Houston went down, and I think he scored a touchdown on that drive. And was
it the 110-yard drive? I think that's what it goes down as officially. A 110-yard because of penalty yards.
Ah, okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, and that was an issue, too. But that changed everything. And C.J. Stroud did a great job of keeping his composure. And, it's just difficult to cover guys that long. I don't care what team it is and what kind of defensive backs you have when you've got to cover guys that long. And so it was a great play. And you're absolutely right. That play changed the entire football game.
Looking at the official box score, the actual drive gets 99-yard credit, but in the play-by-play, the penalty yardage is included in there. It's rare to see something like that.
It is rare to see something like that. But props to Houston. Now they've got another challenge ahead of them. They've got to go to Kansas City this week. Again, it's Saturday at 3:30.
Texans time slot.
So they ought to feel right at home. And hopefully that's a good game. Look, Kansas City hasn't been destroying anybody this year. They really haven't. And so if Houston can play the way it played against the Chargers this weekend, then I think we've got a game.
At what point do we really start putting a lot of crap on Justin Herbert? One of the reasons that I picked the Chargers to win that game is because I have believed in Justin Herbert for a long time. Not necessarily the coaches around Justin Herbert. With Harbaugh and with what we've seen from the Chargers, I thought this playoff run, at least because it was Houston in this first week, the way Houston had been playing, that Harbaugh would get so much more out of Justin Herbert, that they would get more out of the run game. And all of a sudden, I felt like Kellen Moore calling plays for the Cowboys, let's run the damn ball. They ran it 18 times on Saturday. Dobbins had 9 carries. Edwards had 7 for barely 50 yards. And Herbert wasn't great passing the ball, 14 of 32. Was that on the coaches, or is that just on Justin Herbert?
Oh, that's on Herbert.
And by the way, 4 interceptions in the game.
Yeah, no, that's all on Herbert. And you kind of want to give guys credit, and you don't, because it's just cliche. Takes the blame for it, right, in a post-game press conference. But look, you got to win, and you got to play better than that. And I really thought, honestly, watching Herbert play, he looked nervous. He looked frazzled at times. Now, look, the Texans put a lot of pressure on him. And they really did. They put a lot of heat on Justin Herbert. The Chargers' offensive line did not play well, or the Texans' defensive line played even better, however you want to call it. So he was under a lot of pressure, and he was running for his life quite a bit. But still, he almost looked like he was pressing, like he was you don't want to make that mistake, and then he ends up making the mistake. But, he deserves a lot of criticism for a very poor performance on Saturday afternoon.
I think credit DeMeco Ryans and the Texans defensive staff. I mean, the Chargers are 3 of 11 on third down, and they got 4 takeaways. That's incredible. And you're going to need that kind of defensive effort against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
No doubt.
Offensively for Houston, while they did get rolling, they were 5 of 14 on third down, 2 of 2 on fourth down, but they've got to figure that out if they're going to stay competitive at Kansas City. That's the bottom line. Can they do that? The other playoff games, the Steelers, while it was only 28-14, kind of feels like the Ravens could have won that game by 50, right?
Derrick Henry, again, just outstanding. And Lamar Jackson, too, both running the football. That's a very dangerous combo for anybody. And Buffalo's going to see it coming up this weekend. That's tough. It's really tough. And their offensive coordinator is doing a great job of utilizing that. And it's just hard to figure. And Derrick Henry has just been – he's been special, man.
He could have been a Cowboy.
He could have been.
Should have been. Mike McCarthy might still have a job.
Who knows?
Broncos look good at the beginning of the game.
First drive was great.
And it was all downhill after that.
Oh, my gosh.
31-7. The Eagles-Packers game, that was just a clunky, weird football game. Neither team really seemed to get into any kind of rhythm. And Saquon Barkley probably cost a whole lot of people, I'll raise my hand, money by not getting into the end zone.
Yeah, but you know what? That was the classy move.
It was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do, and he's a classy dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to think of Philly after that, to be totally honest with you. They've got some players, they've got some talent.
They're gritty, and they what that showed me is they can win in a variety of ways. That's what that showed me yesterday. One more game to go tonight, Vikings and Rams. You can listen to tonight's Monday night playoff game here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 6:30 is when the pregame coverage gets underway here on San Antonio Sports Star. Cowboys now looking for a coach. What does Mother Football think? Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jason, you're talking about that football game tonight, and wouldn't you like a nice hot pizza to go along with that football game tonight? It would be fantastic. So we're going to be at Round Table Pizza in Stone Oak on Friday. But you can go there tonight, get you a pizza, because their pizza is special. In fact, they've even got a brand new one. It's a pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza. It's only available for a limited time, but you can enjoy a large right now at participating locations for only $19.99. It's a lot of pizza for a pretty good price. Plus, you might as well, pair that pizza with some irresistible shareables like crispy mozzarella sticks, jalapeno poppers, or golden potato wedges. All the perfect complement to your large pizza for $19.99. And you want to find that nearest location? We know we're going to be in Stone Oak on Friday, but if that's not close to you, they've got other locations. So all you have to do is go to roundtablepizza.com. You can order for pickup or delivery there. Again, roundtablepizza.com is where you need to go. roundtablepizza.com.
The Morning Huddle.
What happened to your beard?
I lost it.
Dude,
He used the wrong card.
look away. Look away. I'm hideous. Look away.
Don't look at my face.
Look away. Dude, I didn't realize I had this right here.
Yeah.
This little wobble.
You can play it like a guitar.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 16. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The King of Paddle, a premier pickleball and paddle club in downtown San Antonio, is now open. And we're taking the Blitz live this Thursday from 2 to 6. State-of-the-art indoor courts, vibrant atmosphere in one location. Located at 314 Nolan Street. Join us at the King of Paddle this Thursday.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Mike McCarthy officially out in Dallas, according to a statement from Jerry Jones. Before they even started negotiating, they realized it's probably best if we just mutually move on. Let's talk about it. Mother football. Charean Williams from ProFootballTalk.com joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Charean, you go with the statement that Jerry says, I guess you believe the reports that they didn't even negotiate, although there were reports that length of the contract was a bit of a sticking point. And at this point, does it really matter? Is it on to the next?
No, it doesn't really matter, but, you know, you can figure out without, quote-unquote, negotiating. I think negotiating, you're starting to talk about money, right? How much money are we going to pay? We talked about this last week. I told you it's going to be the length of the contract. And I'm sure that when they talked, Jerry said, hey, we want to do something short-term. But McCarthy's like, no, I'm not doing anything short-term. Like, I want a commitment that I'm going to be your head coach for whatever he said, 4 years, 5 years, whatever the number was. And Jerry's like, yeah, we're not looking to do anything long term. So if you consider that negotiations or not, I think when we talk negotiation, it's all semantics. But I do think they probably talked about length of contract. I do think Jerry Jones wanted Mike McCarthy back, but I think he wanted Mike McCarthy back on a short-term deal. And McCarthy says, I'm not coming back on a short-term deal. And who would and why would he? So they mutually agreed that McCarthy can move on and he can go interview with the Bears and the Saints. And, if he doesn't get one of those jobs, he can sit out a year and somebody's going to be interested in him next year. There's no question about that. He's going to have another job coaching in the NFL. There's no question. And the Cowboys can move on and get on with their search.
It's going to be interesting, Charean. It always is when it comes to the Cowboys and their search. And already all these names are popping up, and some of them are guys that you're not hearing about. I mean, Jason Witten's name, for goodness sake, is popping up there. Do you think that is a realistic possibility?
Yes, because I think Jerry is – I mean, people are saying, well, they missed their window for Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. People, come on. Do you even follow the Cowboys? Do you even have any sense of who Jerry Jones is? He's not paying much money, okay? He's not going to pay a coach $20 million a year. He's not. He's not. So stop with all this. He's going to hire someone he knows or someone who has previously been a head coach. There's no question about that. Period. End of story. This is the way he operates. If you follow the Cowboys since 1989, look at the coaches he's hired. Tell me somebody he hired who wasn't a former head coach or wasn't somebody he knew. Jason Garrett. It's not going to be anybody else than that. It's not. That's the way he operates. So to start talking Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, they missed their period to talk to them. Now they're going to wait. They're not talking to them. They might talk to them. They're not hiring them. They have no interest in hiring them. They have no interest in paying money for them. It's going to be Kellen Moore. It's going to be Jason Witten. It's going to be Cliff Kingsbury. It's going to be Doug Peterson. It's Pete Carroll. Those are names. Those are realistic names for the Cowboys. Anybody outside of that is not a realistic name.
Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk here on the Blitz. The idea that Jerry waited a full week after the season ended to let Mike McCarthy's contract expire, even after denying him the opportunity to interview with the Bears, which he can now go do on his own any point tomorrow if it's there. But what timetable do you think there is now on Jerry to name the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, it has to be a process. So they had to go through. They had mandatory training today, which is about an hour, that they had to go through to learn how to do the inclusive hiring process. They've been through that, I hear. So they're through that, so they can start the process of interviews. And by the way, they can talk to Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn tonight if they want to. They can do Zoom calls with him. They can do it right now. They can call him and say, hey, I want to do a Zoom call with you right now. So they haven't really and truly missed their window. They're not going to do that, but they haven't really missed their window. They might do that with Kellen Moore. They may request, the Eagles, hey, we want to talk to Kellen Moore tonight. Tell Kellen Moore, hey, we're interested in you. Let's talk for a minute. Would you be interested in coming back? Because I know there's some wounds to heal there if that's the way they want to go, the route they want to go. So they can do that if they want to. But they've got to go through the process of this. Now, the Patriots made a mockery of it. They interviewed two minorities who they never intended to hire, who weren't in the NFL. We all know that. They know that. Everybody knows that. It's no secret. Aaron Glenn turned down a chance to interview with them because of that. So the process of doing all that, it's got to be in person, two minority outside candidates in person. So it's going to take some time. It's not like they can go hire a coach this week. It's going to be probably at least a 2-week process. You kind of the Patriots did it very quickly, and again they circumvented sort of. They followed the letter of the law, but that's about it. But they basically circumvented and laughed in the face of the Rooney Rule. I don't think the Cowboys can do that because they've done it in the past with the little phone interview they did with Dennis Green one year and some other things they've done. I think they're truly going to have to sit down with some minority candidates who are real candidates. So it's going to take some time. This isn't something that's going to happen this week.
Well, I find it interesting, and Jason and I, Charean, were talking about this. Al Harris, is that a realistic name, do you think, or do you think he'll get an interview?
Yeah, he may get an interview. John Fossil may get an interview. Mike Zimmer may get an interview. Again, these are people that Jerry knows. It's going to be somebody Jerry knows, or it's going to be somebody who's been a head coach previously. I'm going to be shocked if those two things, when you look at Jerry's history from Jimmy Johnson to Dave Campo to Barry Switzer to Chan Gailey was a head coach to Gailey, I guess, wasn't. He knew Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett had been with him multiple times. All those guys, Mike McCarthy had won a Super Bowl. So they're not going to think outside the box. I think this is going to be what they've basically always done, and it's going to be someone they know or someone who's been a head coach. I would love to see him hire Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll would be great. I think Pete Carroll's about the best they can do. This is a guy who's won a Super Bowl, who's been successful, who had a long reign in Seattle. I think he would be exciting. I think that he would fire up the fans, and his personality and his enthusiasm and energy. I think he would be a great hire for the Cowboys. If I'm the Cowboys, that's who I want as my next head coach.
A
now,
complete opposite
again,
personality of, say, of Mike Zimmer, too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But again, they're not going to pay the money. Is Pete Carroll going to want to work below market value? And they're going to use that thing they always try to use with players, too. And Dak Prescott said, no, I'm not going for that. And good for him. But the thing they always use is, well, we're the Dallas Cowboys. Think about all the off-the-field stuff. We're America's team. You can't do better than America's team. Don't you want to work for the greatest, team in the history of the world? And that's what they're selling. I don't know if that sells like it used to. I really don't. I think money talks, and I do think some of those guys are going to want more money. I think Pete Carroll's probably one who's going to want more than $5 or $6 million that they're going to be willing to pay.
I'm curious when you think about like the personality of a Pete Carroll, and he would fit in the circus that is the Dallas Cowboys and the spotlight and everything that goes along with being the Cowboys head coach, some of the requirements that Jerry has, because there are 32 jobs. I don't think anybody turns it down. Oh, I would never work for Jerry. But if Jerry's making the choice, he's got to hire a coach that can not only coach but also handle the spotlight and the circus. How much does that factor in?
Absolutely, it does. And I think Pete Carroll would be one who could do that, who would handle that and handle it very well. And he would get along with Jerry, I think, very well. So, again, that's why to me he really fits and would be the best possible hire they could have. I don't know what kind of relationship they have, but he's been a very successful head coach and done great things. And I'm not sure he deserved to be fired in Seattle, but they were ready to move on and bring in somebody else. And so that's what they did. But it wasn't like, Pete Carroll sucked in his last year in Seattle. I mean, they were still a competitive team, and they had moved on from Russell Wilson, which was a great move that they did, and went on with Geno Smith. So, yeah, I think he'd be a great hire and a fit for them, and I think he would be the best they could possibly do. You always the problem I have with it is you always have to have somebody who's better. And I know the fan base was not going to be excited by Mike McCarthy coming back. They weren't. But I don't know who you hire that's going to excite the fan. I mean, does Kellen Moore do much for you?
No.
Do you get excited by Kellen Moore coming in? Oh, wow, we're going to turn this thing right around. I don't know that he's excited. I don't know if there's anybody out there, I guess, that's going to turn this fan base around and say, well, this really gives us hope. Pete Carroll would come the closest to that, I think. But I don't know that there's anybody out. I mean, Doug Peterson, he didn't do much. He wasn't successful in Jacksonville. He did nothing. They were terrible.
Well, Charean, let me ask you this, because you know Jerry Jones well and how he operates, and I kind of figure I know the answer to this, perhaps. Jerry's got somebody in mind already. I mean, he knows what he wants. I mean, so all this interview process and all of that, nobody's going to come in and change his mind, are they?
Probably not. No, probably not. And maybe it is Jason Witten. Maybe it is Kellen Moore. Maybe it is somebody he knows very well. I don't know. Maybe he's talked to Cliff Kingsbury already, gone through Dan Quinn and has a sense that Kingsbury might be the guy for him. I don't know, but I do think he probably has somebody in mind. Now, whether that works out for him or not, I don't know. I don't know how much legwork they've done before they moved on from Mike McCarthy. I would like to hope that they have, that it wasn't just, we're going to move on from Mike McCarthy and then, a couple hours later, we're going to start on this search. I would like to think that they had some foresight to say, okay, we might move on from Mike McCarthy. Here's our list of guys. Let's start reaching out to see if we decide to move on from Mike McCarthy, if so-and-so would be interested in this job.
Charean Williams from ProFootballTalk.com here on the Blitz. I mean, I'm with you. I'd like to think, while it's been a full week, while it feels like they haven't done anything, hopefully they have been working on this, right? They didn't let a week go by and say, okay, well, oh, man, Mike, maybe we do split. Maybe Hay is in the barn actually means he already knows who the next head coach is going to be, but there's some rules he's got to follow and put on a show and get as much pub as he can out of this search. And you go some left field candidates. $10 million gets you out of the North Carolina deal for a Bill Belichick. And you've got John Gruden's name is surfacing. Would it surprise you if Jerry were to go a route that way?
Yes, he's not paying $10 million for Bill Belichick. There's no possible way. Plus the contract you'd have to give him. No, he's not paying any extra money. There's no possible way that happens. Zero chance. Now, John Gruden, maybe, former head coach. That wouldn't surprise me a bit. He's free and clear, and you can go sign him right now. I mean, once you comply with all the rules, of course. But I'm saying, he's a guy that's not going to cost you draft picks. He's probably not going to cost you a ton of money. Would he take below value? Probably. To coach the Cowboys, to get back into the game? Probably. You could probably get him for $5 or $6 million a year, I would think. So yeah, that one wouldn't surprise me. Now he's got a lawsuit against the NFL too, so I don't know how Jerry feels about that. Jerry, that may hold Jerry back, but that one wouldn't surprise me. Gruden would. Belichick would, because of the $10 million buyout. He's not paying $10 million. There's no possible way he's paying $10 million. He's not.
All right, Charean, I've got to ask you, kind of off the topic of Jerry and a coaching search. When you see what's going on with the Raiders and Tom Brady, do you think there's any way the NFL is going to allow him to continue at Fox if he has that much influence and power with the Raiders?
I would say no, but the fact that they let this year play out the way they did gives me pause. I don't know what they're possibly doing. I mean, to me, it's a conflict of interest for him to be doing both jobs. He's got to pick one or the other. It's obvious he would pick the Raiders, I would think, but he can't be doing, Fox work as the Raiders owner. It just doesn't make any sense to me that the NFL would allow this to go on beyond this season. So we'll see how that plays out. But it is interesting that here he is, having a heavy hand in their coaching search, and he's doing these playoff games. Is you going to be allowed to talk to Ben Johnson? On the field before the game, like. I don't know. It's just a weird situation, something we've never seen before.
Absolutely. And speaking of coaches and, not Cowboy related, but Mike Tomlin getting the Mike McCarthy, Jason Garrett kind of treatment after another playoff loss, could you see Pittsburgh actually making a change at head coach?
No way. I mean, this is their MO. This is what they do. They are very proud of the fact that they've had 3 head coaches since 1969, and they don't move on from their head coaches. I saw Jimmy propose a trade for Mike McCarthy for Mike Tomlin, and it would have been fine if the Cowboys had Mike McCarthy under contract. Maybe that would have happened, and probably would have been good for both teams to kind of get a reset button with McCarthy going back home to Pittsburgh. That would have made a little bit of sense, actually, but obviously McCarthy's not under contract, so there was no way that was going to happen. But, he's there. Tomlin's there. He just signed an extension before the year started. I think he's through 2027 is his contract, so I think he's there through at least 2027.
Charean, just looking at the openings right now, what do you envision or see as the best job that's available out there?
They're all open for a reason. It's not like you're walking into Andy Reid retires and you're going into the Chiefs into a great situation. I mean, none of them are like that. I think you look at the quarterbacks, and I think if you're a head coaching process, say you're Ben Johnson, okay, you're going to have probably your choice of jobs outside. Again, I don't think he's a Cowboys candidate, but you're going to have a choice of jobs. So I think you sit down and you look at the quarterbacks at each team and see which quarterback you think you can win with. Because more than likely, the quarterback on that team, if it's Caleb Williams or Trevor Lawrence or, some of these teams we're talking about that has the quarterback that either has paid the quarterback or drafted the quarterback early, that's going to be your quarterback for the length of your stay. And you're either going to get fired or you're going to get an extension, but you're not going to get another quarterback. So can you win with that quarterback? So that's what I think you have to evaluate. Can you win with Caleb Williams if you go to Chicago? Can you win with Trevor Lawrence if you go to Jacksonville? That, to me, is what makes the Cowboys' job sort of attractive, is you have Dak Prescott. Okay, Mike McCarthy won 12 games with this guy for 3 consecutive years. Then you have to work with Jerry Jones and all the circus that is. They've already said they're not spending any money in free agency. So there is that. So, all those things. I don't know that I look at one of these jobs and go, this is really a great job. I guess if I had to pick any of them, I would probably pick Chicago because they do have the young quarterback who you drafted number 1 overall. They've got some great weapons in place. They're willing to spend money. So I think there's some positives to that job if I was going to pick one of these jobs to go to. And, some others that have high draft picks, like what quarterback excites you coming? I mean, all the scouts have told me this is not great. Like, this is not even a good quarterback draft class. So if you don't have a quarterback, you're probably not going to get a quarterback in this draft. You're going to have to go the free agent route. There's going to be some good free agents out there probably who you can go after. But that's the thing. You've got to figure out what quarterback you can win with. And if you think you win with Caleb Williams or Trevor Lawrence or, Dak Prescott, then that's the job. But, the fact that the Cowboys aren't going to spend any money in free agency just gives me, it's a huge pause for me about this job and how successful the next head coach can be if they're not going to do that. And they're not. They said they're not. So can you win with stars? You have star players, but you have no depth, and you have none of those players behind the stars who can get you over the hump. The fact that they let the likes of, all weekend I was sitting here watching these playoff games. You just see ex-Cowboys just starring everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Like, oh, he used to play with the Cowboys. Yeah, he used to play. Yeah, they didn't re-sign him. Man, that guy's making some plays there. You saw it with every single team. Like, there were ex-Cowboys making plays all over the field, and you're like, they could have had these, they could have re-signed this guy. They could have had this guy. Dante Fowler. I mean, goodness gracious, how do you not re-sign Dante Fowler? So, they're not willing to do that. Not even willing to re-sign some of their backup players. So, the fact that they're not willing to do that, I think, really limits who you're going to get as a head coach for this job.
Going to be interesting to follow, and I'm sure we'll talk about it by next Tuesday when you make your next appearance. Do you think we'll have a new head coach?
No, I think maybe by the end of next week. I think there's a possibility they could have that, but I don't think they can move any faster than that.
Wow. Follow her on Twitter at NFL Charean, read her at ProFootballTalk.com. Charean Williams, appreciate you jumping on a Monday with us this week.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. The great Charean Williams on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at BuyersBarricades.com.
Interesting stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun over the next couple of weeks.
We might need a poll. Who sounds more frustrated, Charean Williams or R.J. Ochoa, when talking Cowboys? Wow. It is right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, let's talk about the games that we did see yesterday. Interesting wild card weekend. One game to go. Let's talk about it. How about those Texans? We'll get into that. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, I want to talk about a real winner. Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. They are a winner. Love mine. Love mine in the house. I had it there for some time now, and it is a game changer. It's unbelievable the difference that you feel getting out of the shower, the clothes you put on, the the dishes that come out of the dishwasher, all of it is just, it's unbelievable how good the Connecticut quality water softener is. Look, they've been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. Products are made in America, and what I love about it, you don't plug it in. It doesn't run on electricity. It's that kinetic energy. And it provides soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Outstanding warranty coverage. There's not a more solid warranty in the business. And right now, for a limited time, when you buy a Connecticut quality water softener, you're going to get a free reverse osmosis drinking station, and they're going to install it right there at your kitchen sink. You're also going to give you $400 with a trade-in of your old water softener, and they're offering 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. But don't wait. The offer ends soon. So call Connecticut of San Antonio in the Hill Country. The phone number to call, 656-PURE, 656-7873. You can also check them out online at ConnecticutSA.com. And when you call 656-PURE, let them know that your old buddy Joe sent you that way.
Riding 281 with the Floresville and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
The time to shop limited-time doorbuster deals during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Save $50 on a Little Giant King Combo 6-foot ladder. Was $199, now $149. Plus, save $100 on a DeWalt XR 20-volt Power Stack 5-amp-hour battery. Was $199, now $99. Get these can't-miss deals now before they're gone. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Doorbusters valid 1/13 through 1/15. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit IFFhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the
ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch, have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
We've got NFL playoff football tonight, Monday night edition. It ends Super Wild Card Weekend. It's the Rams and the Vikings. They're playing that game in Glendale, Arizona. You can hear it, though, right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Begins at 6:30 with the pregame show. NBA basketball tonight as well. Spurs, Lakers. This was supposed to be the second game of a back-to-back. They had to postpone Saturday. They'll tip at 9:30 from L.A.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Monday afternoon.
Yes.
Listening on the radio, watching on YouTube. Always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel.
And it's 5 o'clock. If you're getting off work right now, congrats. You made it through Monday. That's awesome. Then you go home, watch a little Monday Night Football, a little Spurs basketball, all of the above.
You know, it's going to be an interesting night with the Spurs playing in Los Angeles. It's obviously going to be a late start, 9:30?
9:30, yeah.
And I saw where they're raising money tonight. They expect to donate like $8 million to the L.A. Fire Department, which I think is fantastic.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, I don't know when you're going to do it tonight, but if you haven't watched the season finale of Landman, holy crap.
I will be doing that at some point in time. Obviously, I'm not sure when. now that the Spurs are playing at 9:30, but I'll do something
after the Buccaneers game last night. We watched Landman, and I didn't realize that was the season finale.
Season finale.
Holy crap! Because I was already geared up for next Sunday.
Yeah.
And I will tell you now, because I know you need your beauty rest, sir. It was an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
When I started, I didn't realize it was going to be a long episode.
All right.
But it was after midnight, but holy crap.
Look, it's
holy crap.
Best show going right now as far as I'm concerned. So, and what's kind of nerve-wracking is the fact that they haven't announced if there's going to be a season 2.
There's got to be a season 2.
There has to be, right?
There's got to be a season 2.
It's the best show on TV right now.
It really is. It really is. And I was reading about it. Feel a lot better now. The daughter in that, the one that plays the daughter, she's actually 27.
Why do you feel better about that?
Well, because
Jason?
If she were actually a teenager.
So it's the thoughts that are running through your head, or what? Is that what we're saying?
No, it's
here?
what she's doing.
And the
as
thoughts that are running through your head.
As a teenager. You know what, though? The way you say it, Pledge just wrote, it ended with a cliffhanger question mark, then there's a season 2.
Sure. Well, there's got to be, but I don't think they've even started shooting that yet.
Well,
season 2.
All I'm saying, if there is not a season 2, it is one of those cliffhanger types that might leave you wondering who shot JR, right?
Right,
I mean, if it were just to end that way, you can make a lot of assumptions and write your own ending. But holy crap, last night's episode.
Dude, I had to do that. We watched a movie called Juror Number 2.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't realize, but Clint Eastwood, I guess, directed this thing.
Okay.
It's a new movie, and the ending is just weird. You're left like, wait, what the hell happened? What's going to happen?
It's Juror 2, right? Was he guilty or not?
Juror Number 2. Well, it's pretty intense, buddy.
Well, was he guilty or not?
Well, he was a juror.
What?
Yeah, it was Juror Number 2.
You think?
Yeah. But it's a great story that intertwines all of that. It's a really good movie.
It's a good movie?
But the ending was just like, you kind of have to
write your own
ending.
last night, holy crap.
All right. Well,
watch
don't say anything because I'm watching.
Don't say anything.
Well, don't say anything. You don't ruin it for me. I'm going to watch it. You just got to keep your mouth shut and just we'll talk.
See, now you're challenging me.
We're talking tomorrow about it.
So you can finally get caught up. What about everybody else that's listening right now that's like, don't tell me, I haven't seen it yet. Don't tell me.
Exactly.
They maybe you save it till Wednesday or Tuesday night when there are no, football games.
Well, I can't with the hype and the buildup already that you've given me, and I read something there too that it was just a fantastic ending or episode. So,
yeah, dude,
I got to see it. I will carve out an hour and 20 minutes at some point this evening.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will do it.
Just saying. Oh, Carlos hung up.
I'm thinking
Carlos was going to be our first Prime to Dallas call, and he hung up.
Oh, really?
I think he probably realized what we would do with that.
Said he had inside information.
Oh, he's got inside in. Carlos has inside information.
Well, but why didn't he stay on the line then? Because we need to know this, Carlos. Call back.
His inside information.
Yes.
All right, Carlos, you're our insider on Prime.
Wow. I wonder if he had to go pee or something. Well, I mean, why would you hang up?
Well, I mean, if you're an insider, you got people calling you all the time trying to get that information.
Well, that's true. So maybe it was Shador on line two?
Well, I mean, it's Prime, not Shador.
Well, he might know what his dad's going to do.
Shador said he's going to the Giants.
He did?
Well, I mean, he did right here in San Antonio at the Valero Alamo Bowl. He's like, you guys will know when you see my shoes, and he rolled out in Giants shoes.
Ah.
And then he played poorly, and the Giants went and won a game and said, we don't want the number 1 pick.
The Giants pick 3rd now, actually, don't they?
I think.
I think they do.
I think.
Well, he's not going to Cleveland in there, too.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they might need a quarterback now that Deshaun Watson has re-torn his Achilles, and his career is now in jeopardy.
No, Cleveland may want him, but I would bet the ranch that he's not going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. And then there's rumors that the Raiders would trade up to that 2 spot, trade with Cleveland.
Yep.
And grab Shador there.
Yep.
We'll see.
Certainly a possibility.
Yep.
Certainly a possibility. Let's talk about those playoff games from yesterday. There's only one good game, and it was last night. We'll get you ready for tonight's Rams-Vikings game as well here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, though, let's talk a little bit about Stevens Roofing. Love talking about Stevens Roofing. Family-owned company, local company, and they're just good folks that do really good work. And I don't have to tell you, your roof's a pretty important part of that house, right? It protects everything that you love, including your family, obviously. So you need a reliable roofer you can trust. That is Stevens Roofing. Commercial projects, they do that. They do residential, obviously. You can put a metal roof on your house if you'd like that. They're licensed by the city of San Antonio. Estimates, they're always free. All you have to do is pick up the phone and give them a call, 210-785-0994. And if you're like me and everybody else on the planet, you've been thinking about going solar to save a little bit of money, well, Stevens Roofing has you covered there as well. Solar panels are increasingly affordable. They can save you money on your monthly utility bills. They'll often increase the value of your home, and this is important, there are even options to keep the lights on when the grid goes down. You never know when that might happen. You call Stevens Roofing, you don't have to worry about it because, look, they've got a team of certified experts who will deliver solar solutions that are tailored to your specific needs. So for roofing or for solar, call the local company that's been trusted for decades. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing has your family covered. Give them a call, 210-785-0994.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Is health or fitness a goal this year? Great news. The King of Paddle has arrived in San Antonio with 8 pickleball and 6 paddle courts. Their indoor facility suits all skill levels from beginners to seasoned players. Mark your calendar for their January 18th and 19th winter tournament. Find details at thekingofpaddle.com or at the King of Paddle SA on social media. Visit their new downtown location at 314 Nolan Street or check out the new King of Paddle facility with us this Thursday as we broadcast the Blitz live from 2 to 6.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance. But Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
When I wake up the best mornings in the morning light start with Wrangler. I put on my jeans and I feel alright. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe. I'm Jason. Thursday, we're going to play pickleball. We're going to be live doing the show 2 to 6 out at San Antonio's newest pickle and paddleball destination called King of Paddle. It's downtown on Nolan Street, 314 at Nolan Street.
Now, what is paddleball?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
I don't know. I don't know what pickle and paddle means.
Okay.
I know what pickleball is, but pickle and paddle, I have no idea.
Pickle and paddle.
I know they've got a big tournament this weekend.
Oh, nice.
And that's what we're supposed to promote.
Okay, good.
But I don't know the difference between pickleball and paddleball, if there is a difference.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to get educated.
I know you use paddles while playing pickleball.
Well, I apparently use paddles when you play paddleball.
You would think.
You would think, right?
You would think.
So there you go. I can't wait. It'd be my first pickleball experience.
So Joe Reinagle is going to lose his pickleball virginity on Thursday at the King of Paddle.
Yeah, you may want to come out and watch that.
Good Lord.
Uh-huh.
You think about this weekend's playoff games.
Yeah.
And compared to the college football playoff games, where the first round they all kind of sucked, right? Yesterday, the argument that we need more NFL playoff teams, I think you could say that probably goes by the wayside. Texans blow out the Chargers. That was a bit of a surprise, although home team won. Home team won in big fashion. Ravens home team blows out the Steelers. Bills home team blows out the Broncos. Eagles home team 22-10 went over the Packers. Buccaneers only home team that lost this weekend. They lose to Washington, and they lose to Washington after a bizarre series of events that you see in preseason football. One, you had the center snap the ball when nobody else was ready, and then you had Baker Mayfield fumble the ball on a timing issue on something that they probably do a gazillion times, and that really was the difference in the game. And then Washington, they line up for a game-winning field goal, and they doink it in.
Gonzalez looking to send Washington into the divisional round. Snap good, hold down, kick on it. It is good! The Cardiac Commanders are the Clutch Commanders! They do it again! We'll see you in Detroit! And Zay Gonzalez kicks in the door and kicks us into the second round of the playoffs!
Bram Weinstein with the call on
the Cardiac Commanders.
The Cardiac Commanders.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That Zane Gonzalez, the kicker, I probably need to go say some prayers because I was laughing at the guy last night before he went in to kick that field goal because he was fixing his hair. But apparently he's got, ADHD?
Yeah, he's got some, routine's a big part of it. Tirico was talking about his shoe and everything else, and that's what it takes to get done. I can't imagine that you, Joe Reinagle, would laugh at anybody for constantly fixing their hair.
Well, no, I thought it was pretty good, but he's about to put a helmet on. I'm thinking that's not going to do you a lot of good.
Well, maybe if you fix the hair before the helmet goes on, it looks a little better coming off.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I mean, the guy knew, man, I'm going to kick a game-winning field goal, and all eyes are going to be on me. The hair's got to be perfect. You, of all people, should not give any dude crap for adjusting their hair and making sure it's perfect because you do it 81,000 times a day.
Well, I do, and it looks good. So
it does. It does.
It really does.
It really does. Yeah. Nobody's arguing that your hair doesn't look good, but you are constantly adjusting your hair.
Yes.
Yeah. Every time on our YouTube channel, every time that's a one-shot on you, I see you have this look. You go like this, turn your head, and then you turn your head this way. You're making sure on camera that both sides look perfect.
Well, yeah. Well, sure.
Yes.
That's what I do.
You are very hair conscious. Very.
Yes.
Hair conscious.
I am.
Either way, Washington gets the road win.
Jeez.
We got, I think, 3 Washington fans that listen on a fairly regular basis.
Uh-huh.
And one loves to talk crap. His name is Fred. And I'm surprised it took him till the 5 o'clock hour to call in today. Congratulations, Fred.
You shush your mouth. You're going to listen to every word I got.
I can really just do that and just move on. But I won't. What's up, Fred?
You're going to listen to every word I got to say, and you pipe down there, Joe Cool. You both had Washington losing, and you sounded so
I did
confident.
not.
Yeah.
I actually
so confident. I want to hear it, Minix, especially from you. How about them Commanders?
All right, here we go. We'll have to do that to have a conversation. For the record, Reinagle actually picked Washington in this game.
Yes, I did.
Pledge and I both had Tampa Bay in the game. All right.
Don't you be putting words in Pledge's mouth. Pledge, and you owe him an apology, too, for laughing at his Texans.
Well, the beauty is I don't. But the reality is Pledge picked Washington. I'm not putting words in his mouth. I mean, we all make our own picks in our own words every Friday.
No, he picked Tampa Bay.
Or picked Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
You picked
You
I'm
know
the
what,
only one that
Nick?
picked
I don't want to hear it. I want you to say, how about them Commanders? And I know you hate saying that word. I know you hate it. It boils your soul because it's San Antonio related, and it's your rivals, and I know it eats you.
No, I don't like it because
know-
they should never have
I
changed
know
their name
you
from Redskins.
cried
But that we'll
all
digress.
night long. You cried.
Oh, yeah, I did. I did. You have no idea how
Why
much.
are we a loser franchise? Oh, I don't know if my clown shoes are going to fit today.
It's amazing. You get your first playoff win in 19 years, and the Cowboys are still in your head. I love it, Fred.
Never.
I love it.
Never, Minnick.
I love it.
How you feeling about that trip to
say it.
Detroit? That's all I want to know. You feeling okay about that?
Oh, I'm going to tell you this right now. Houston, Washington, Super Bowl. Book it now, Minnick.
Okay.
Book it now.
I'll be in New Orleans, so you better buy your tickets now. Call John over at Awesome Tickets, man. He'll get you squared away.
I don't make that Joe Cool money, all right? Relax, let's slow it down there, Minnick.
Well, I'll tell you what, Fred. I'm going to hook you up with a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. How about that? Congrats on the win.
Oh, awesome. I love that.
All right. See?
I've never been. Hopefully I see A.J. Hoffman, you know. Might get an autograph.
Yeah, why do you want to see A.J.
Yeah,
Hoffman?
exactly.
Dude? I mean, you've got to have higher standards than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he sounds like a cool guy.
I'm sure AJ would love to sit down with you and have a cold beer and eat some pizza there at Mellow Mushroom. But seriously, man, congrats on the win. We give away a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom every Monday. We call it Mellow Mushroom Mondays. We can randomly do it any way we want. Fred, congrats, man.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? That's classy, you Minix.
Yeah, he almost. I mean, because I even said during the break, oh yeah, Pledge is saying this is guy. All right, man, let's give him a gift card. But he almost cost it. Almost just moved on.
I give you a lot of credit there because I know you hated that, and he was razzing you, and you. Yeah, I mean, both Washington and Philly won yesterday, so it had to be a miserable day for you.
I mean, not really.
No.
You know, it's funny. See, like he couldn't even celebrate his win without bringing up the Cowboys. I mean. You know, I don't like Washington. I don't like Philadelphia, but I don't get mad when they win.
Well, it doesn't matter because Washington's run's going to be over this weekend. Philly, who's Philly got? How's Philly playing?
They're going to get the winner,
of tonight's game. So I don't know about them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Mario's got an idea. Mario, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
I don't know about an idea, but, you know, I got to troll you Cowboys fans.
Oh, here we go.
Dan Quinn has the same amount of playoff victories as Mike McCarthy.
Well, Dan Quinn has a job. Mike McCarthy does not.
Hello?
Again, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Again, I mean, it's so bizarre that you get these fans of Washington that just have to compare everything to the Cowboys. It is bizarre. I mean, Dan Quinn coached a team to a Super Bowl one time.
He did.
Yeah.
And was it Quinn that
yes.
That's a big comeback, right?
Yeah, the Patriots against the Falcons down there in Houston.
I remembered it. Did you see Aaron Jones walk into the stadium with a sombrero on?
Well, he does that.
He does?
All the time. Glad you pay attention.
Well,
that's not new.
Okay, well, it should be old. Gee whiz. Dude, get rid of it.
Oh, good Lord. But congrats to Dan Quinn.
Yes.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Congrats.
Jaden Daniels. I mean, there are people in that organization that I like, that I know. And, you know, you're happy for them. Am I happy that team won? No. Do I give a damn? No. I mean, you know, I worry about one team.
It doesn't affect you anyway because the Cowboys aren't there, so it's not like they beat the Cowboys yesterday.
No, see, that would be a
tough.
different story.
Yes.
Did I have Tampa Bay winning? Yes.
I actually made money on Washington last night. I needed it too after Texas screwed me and the Denver Broncos screwed me. I actually took them plus 9 points.
+9.
+9. I thought that's a lot of points.
You can always tell when Joe's losing a bet because in the group chat, it's this guy just sucks. This guy sucks.
That's
yeah. Like I don't need to. All I got to do is look and go. I know how Joe bet. Because if Joe is losing money, somebody involved just sucks.
Well, you got my my deal that said Jaden Daniels is amazing, so you knew that I had Washington.
Yep. Now Cleto Rodriguez. How about my Texans? Give them some love.
We have been, Cleto.
Yes.
We've been giving them love.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And again, that was maybe the biggest surprise of the weekend. I mean, we talked about it Friday. You know, which team, because it seemed across the board how most picks were going, but there would be a surprise. Now, you could say just from a seeding standpoint, Washington's win at Tampa Bay, and they were the only road team to win, was a surprise, but everybody and their mother was on the Chargers to win that game. I mean, even Rex Ryan called it a bye week for the Los Angeles Chargers. And, of course, after the game, Joe Mixon goes on IG Live about that bye week comment.
Come on, Rex. Come on, bye week. What's going on, Rex? We smoking on that Rex Ryan bye week.
Had that victory cigar going in the locker room. It was fantastic.
Oh, hey, props to the Texans. They deserve that. They played really well on Saturday. Well, it's interesting. Now they've got a tough one. We'll see how they do this week in KC.
Yep. Vikings Rams tonight. You can listen to it right here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star starting at 6:30. Brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. That game actually in Arizona, but in Los Angeles, they are getting back to sports. Lakers and Spurs tonight. Tom Orsborn of the San Antonio Express News will join us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the NFL wildcard weekend finally ends. We'll talk about Minnesota, or is it the Rams?
And the Spurs back in action after a little mini break. Did the Spurs get back on track? We'll talk about it all. Starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What's up, football fans? BetMGM is giving you the chance to win up to $250,000 in bonus bet credits. It's all part of BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot, where you could be able to split the grand prize with anyone else who bet on the longest touchdown of the week. Log into your BetMGM account today and opt into the promo. Then place an anytime touchdown wager of $10 or more on the player of your choice, up to one player per game. If your player scores the longest touchdown of the week, you'll win a share of the $250K in credits. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot subject to rules. See BetMGM.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are unrestricted rewards credits that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Hey guys, Jason Minix here from the Blitz. Have you avoided getting your T levels checked? Why continue to live with low energy or low libido potentially caused by low testosterone? Make a New Year's resolution and go to Synergenics. Their personalized TRT goes beyond standard treatments, and they have GLP-1 weight loss options as well. For current patients, Synergenics offers a $150 referral credit whenever you refer a new patient. Get started. Book your appointment at SynergenicsHealth.com. SYNERGENX Health.com.
Being arrested is embarrassing, humiliating, and potentially life-changing. If you want to rewrite the script on the worst night of your life, then you're going to need a stable of aggressive and skilled attorneys. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, Attorneys at Law. We are here to get your life and reputation back. Visit TexasArrest.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. As a former major crimes prosecutor, I've seen almost every type of arrest scenario play out. From small degree drug accusations to death penalty capital murders, I've handled almost every type of case the state of Texas can charge you with. At Barton & Associates, we know how to flip the script and get your life back on track. Call us at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit us at TexasArrest.com. That's TexasArrest.com. Barton & Associates, we are here to get your life and reputation back.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Spurs finally back in action tonight.
This is Game Night San Antonio on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Every game night, the Blitz with Jason and Joe get you inside and ready for tonight's game. Players, coaches, insiders. This is Game Night San Antonio. And the pregame starts right now.
Spurs-Lakers tonight in Los Angeles. Tom Orsborn of the San Antonio Express News joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Been in L.A., I assume, all weekend, Tom. One of the games got postponed because of the fires. Forget the game for a moment. What has it been like in Los Angeles the last couple of days?
Hey, Jason, Joe, good to be with you guys. Well, I mean, it's been pretty frightening at times and pretty normal at times. You know, I would wake up in the morning and my hotel in Marina del Rey looked out, had a great view of Santa Monica and the hills overlooking it. And you could see the Calabasas fire, one of the 6 fires that's been raging out here. You could see it perfectly from my viewpoint. Smoke all day long. Occasionally you could see the flames, and make no mistake, this is miles away. I wasn't in any way, shape, or form in harm's way, but you could see it, and you dealt with the smoke and the ash that was on the rental car in the mornings. But like Mitch Johnson, I thought he hit all the right tones, all the right notes, talking to me about what it's been like for the Spurs. And he said, no matter what uncertainty we're going through or discomfort or logistical issues, it pales in comparison with what the victims are going through of these horrific fires.
Yeah, that is well said. There's no doubt, Tom. And I'm just curious, what are the people of L.A. and just there at the hotel and restaurants and anything else you go to? What is their state? I mean, obviously it's not a good thing, but are they panicked? Are they scared? Or what's going on?
Well, at the hotel where I'm at, Joe, the Marina Del Rey Marriott, it's filled with people that have been evacuated, that have had to flee their homes. The hotel, accommodated them, gave them a reduced rate, much reduced rate. They're taking care of them. There's kids all over the hotel. There's dogs, pets of all kind all over the hotel. And you run into these people, and you just ask them, how are you doing? And they'll tell you. Some of them will say, well, we had to flee. I don't know what my house is like right now. Others will say it burned down, and your heart just goes out to them. It's just a really, really, really tough situation. And, but then you go out on the streets and there's a lot of people wearing masks, which is advised with all the carcinogens and smoke in the air. But then there's other people just doing their business, carrying on with everyday life. And, you guys have been out here many times, and I have too. And we shared some of those times together at Cowboys camp. Mm-hmm. And you just know Los Angeles, it's a unique city in terms of the rural and the urban mixing together. It's a great place to be, but you've got issues in a big city that you don't have in most big cities because of the wildlife and the just the meshing of those two topographies. And so these people have been through it all out here. I mean, mudslides, earthquakes, fires, man-made disasters, man-made incidents that have been in the news. So it's, they're resilient. I always get a kick out of people who've never been out here saying, oh, that's La La Land and everyone's a star, thinks they're a star, et cetera, et cetera. Well, no, there's a heck of a lot of working class people here that, roll up their sleeve and do everything we do in San Antonio as well.
Absolutely. Tom Orsborn of the San Antonio Express News here on the Blitz. And knowing that Marriott, you're staying there in Marina Del Rey, not far from where the Spurs generally would stay or even practice over in Santa Monica. Yeah. I did see the Spurs had to change hotels. Just getting around, I saw you post a photo from the Hollywood Bowl, so I know you're kind of getting out and about. Now, that's near the Hollywood Hills. Traffic is, well, it's going to suck. It's Los Angeles, but, is it just like some parts that seem very normal and then other parts you realize, man, this is not an area I want to be in?
Yeah, exactly. You're navigating through the streets like normal, and then you'll hit areas where there are evacuation routes and there's a large police presence, and you don't want to get anywhere near that to interfere with the very important business of getting people away from the fires. But everything else is it's functioning well. Everything's functioning as normal. And as you guys know too, the communities, the Pacific Palisades, where you guys have driven many, many times. Mm-hmm, I know going to Oxnard. That is like, I saw a video the first couple of days out here, and it reminded me of the video of the Iraq War, and that, I don't know what they called it, the highway of death, just mass destruction. And you guys, I thought of you guys because I know how often you've been out here. It's unrecognizable. It is so heartbreaking to see that highway and Malibu, everything burned to the ocean. And I don't know if you guys ever ate there, but the Real Inn, been there 30 plus years. I've been there many times. Really good place. That's gone.
Oh man.
Tom, and I get it because, I think about some of the places that we typically go, some restaurants that I recognize that aren't there anymore. There was a 76 station that I saw. It's gone, and there's funny memory with Rob Thompson there when he was trying to buy some Copenhagen for like $13, and I mean it's just it is heartbreaking. I mean it's to see how it's all going, and then tonight on the TV here in the studio they're getting ready for the Rams-Vikings home game in Arizona. They moved that, and I get why they moved it because of first responders and everybody that takes to work an NFL game and the outdoor stadium. I'm a little surprised that the Spurs and Lakers are actually playing this game tonight. Clippers are actually playing a game tonight. You do need to get back to some normalcy, but is it too soon? I mean, you're out there right now. Are you surprised you've got to cover a game tonight?
Well, it's a great question, and the league. The NBA put out their statement when they postponed Saturday night's game, saying they didn't want to take away resources that were needed to fight the fires. What I'm hearing now is that they believe the resources, the police presence, paramedics, fire that you always have at an NBA game, at a sporting event, is pretty minimal right now. It's in other words, the fires, while they're still raging, several of them, for instance, the Palisades fire is only 11% contained, and that's been going since Tuesday. Other fires have been contained 100%. And, there's a feeling that it's not as dire as it was, although that could flame up, and that's a terrible pun, and it wasn't intended, but things could go up again Tuesday, when they expect heavier Santa Ana winds out here. But, another thing that you have to consider, it's just a really tough call, but the Lakers have a lot of home games. They're in a homestand, and you keep postponing those games, it's going to wreak havoc with the schedule. I don't know how much of that was considered. I think the main thing was that they believe, after speaking with authorities, that they can hold a game, and they can hold games, and it won't interfere too much with the firefighting efforts. But yeah, the Lakers would stand to lose have a lot of postponed games. The Spurs, on the other hand, getting out of here with just one postponed game, that's not too bad.
No, not at all. And Tom, I look at it kind of like in 9/11. They got back to business, baseball, and I know it's a different situation, but I think sometimes people crave a little bit of normalcy, and going to a Lakers game tonight might be just what the doctor ordered, just as a distraction for a short amount of time.
Yeah. The Clippers too. I think USC, they had a women's game here over the weekend. It's a sense of normalcy in the Spurs. The Spurs mentioned that. The players that I talked to this morning mentioned that. Julian Champagnie had a great quote saying, this was a mini vacation that nobody wanted. They welcomed rest. But what are you going to do? You don't. It would be really insensitive to go out and have a good time, especially when you've got a teammate in Chris Paul whose family had to be evacuated. It was weird for them. It was a lot like COVID. They were ensconced there in the hotel, just kind of hanging out, but they welcomed the rest. They welcomed the practice time. They got 2 practices in, Saturday and Sunday. They got in a good film session, but all in all, they don't want the people to be suffering out here. And Mitch Johnson's mother is in Santa Barbara. Now she's completely safe. No fires in Santa Barbara, thank goodness. But, they're very, very sensitive to what people are going through out here, as you would expect from a team that's had a Greg Popovich running the show for so long.
Absolutely. Tom Orsborn of the San Antonio Express News. And again, we might get into some of tonight's game, but one of the interesting photos from earlier today, Tony Parker hanging out with the team now, and I guess will be until they go to France. The photo with him and Chris Paul, kind of interesting when you think about all the battles that they have had. Is Tony in some sort of official, unofficial kind of role working with some of the younger players?
No. I heard that he's doing media. I'm not sure which outlet. It might be with the NBA, but it's a media type deal. Him being with his old team, through their Paris trip, and it was an interesting shot to see this morning. Those two all-time greats, chatting and just hanging out a little bit this morning. And back to Chris Paul, I talked to some of the guys about him this morning and what he's gone through and how they've tried to rally around and support him emotionally, which is what the only thing they can really do, but Julian tells me that Chris is telling them, hey, if you guys need anything out here in LA, text me, let me know. I know everything out here. So here he is showing that leadership again, at a time when he's got family concerns. He's still, trying to help these guys the best he can. And he was at both practices and the shoot around this morning. And his family is safe. He's chosen not to speak with the media until he knows that everything's 100% okay. I would imagine he may do it after the game tonight with a heavy LA media presence, of course. But yeah, that was kind of cool seeing those two all-time greats hanging out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got J.J. Redick, who lost his house in one of those fires, which is tragic. So the question is, Tom, it's going to be interesting to see, and obviously we won't know until tip-off, but how the players are affected. Will they be carrying that, in their heads, or will they forget about things for a little while and just play ball?
Yeah, that's a great question, Joe. I thought about that. You guys know, we've covered and seen enough sports where you play in these kind of situations after tragedies, and sometimes the opponent, lets up a little subconsciously. Sometimes it doesn't matter at all. I'm thinking about the New York Yankees and the Arizona Diamondbacks after 9/11, and Arizona, of course, won that series in 7 games, even though the Yankees were from the city that was suffering so much. So you just don't know how it's going to play out, and how much rust you're going to see, how much, guys are going to have their minds on other things, especially the Lakers. And it'll be interesting in that sense.
What do you, from a game standpoint, the Spurs played, again, it feels like forever ago. Yeah. It's been so long since they had a game. Yeah. They go on the road trip and, they go 1-3, and I kind of felt like they could have been 3-1 or even 4-0. Then they had that tough loss at home, and they came out lay an egg. What do you expect actually to see on the floor tonight from this Spurs bunch?
Well, yeah, I mean, back to basketball, which has been out of mind, rightfully so, for so long. They came in here Thursday morning at 4 a.m. after losing to Milwaukee on a 3-game losing streak. And they haven't played well in fourth quarters. Their offensive production has been abysmal in fourth quarters and overtime, going back to that loss to Denver in overtime when they got outscored 14-3. And I think 41-19 if you combine the overtime with the fourth quarter. So they've got issues that they need to solve. And, and then looking ahead, they've got a lot of moving parts coming up. 2 games at home against Memphis. Then they go to Miami, and then they head overseas. They head to France to play the Pacers twice in Paris. So, yeah, there's a lot going on with this team and a lot they need to fix. At the same time, there's travel and all this other concerns, and so it's interesting. But they really want to right the ship. They've been having a heck of a season, and it's interesting to see people back in that mode of playoff mode. We got to do every little thing to make the playoffs. We need another big. We need a backup big. We need to make that move. Everyone's in that mind. I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people are in that mindset of win, win, win. This team, can do great things. hey, you know, they've lost 19 games. I mean, they've won 22 games the last 2 years. They you know, have won 18 so far. That's a heck of a season. You know, they're getting a good season, but they've hit a rough patch, and they want to keep it going, but they're also trying to keep perspective, especially management. This is, as you guys know, it's a big picture thing with Brian Wright and R.C. Buford. They want to win. You know, they want to compete for championships during the Wemby era for years to come. And this isn't one of those years. It's still a growth year, albeit one that they very well could make the playoffs. But they've got a tough schedule coming up. They got to navigate all that. They've got, they're not getting great production from certain players that they want to get better production from. So it's going to be interesting what they do tonight, what they do against Memphis, and then the rest of this month.
Tom Orsborn from the San Antonio Express-News. Man, we're up against the time wall, my friend, although we could keep going on this for a while. Appreciate your insight just on what it's been like being in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I've got about an hour's drive to the I'm going to call it the Staples Center. That's easier than, but I got an hour's drive out there, but I appreciate visiting with you guys.
Appreciate it, Tom. Appreciate it as always. Tom Orsborn from the Express-News on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. On Twitter, Tom_Orsborn. And again, I think that conversation is more about just take it to Los Angeles and what's it been like for him being there all weekend. And basketball, we'll have him back on and, you know, debate Steph Castle's minutes. I'm seeing some of those comments on YouTube. Although he said RC and Brian Wright. He did not say Pomp when he said big picture thing.
No, he didn't.
We might have to dive into that a little bit more in coming days as well. Monday night playoff edition football coming up at 6:30. Rams and Vikings here on 94.1, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Right after right before Extra Innings with Pledge. He's coming up next with some interesting audio from Troy Aikman that was just said on ESPN television regarding the Cowboys coaching staff. Pledge will have that coming up here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're locked on the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com. And Joe.